You know, here in California, it's usually sunny, but today it has been rainy and dreary. And that happens to the best of us. And I find that on these rainy, dreary days, we have to keep our spirits up. We have these bad days every now and then, our days where our execution is bad, where we're dropping our combos, where our mind's not in the right place. But in order to alleviate all of that, I like to make myself a lovely cup of brew, nice cup of tea. So we're going to start. Of course, we've got the tea bag in there. I'm going to put in some sugar. I like to use half a teaspoon. I don't actually have teaspoons here. I don't know why this place doesn't have teaspoons, but you know, it's okay. We work with what we have. You know, sometimes you're using a weaker character, and you work with the tools that you have. But the best players make the best use of what they have. And now, of course, the essential step. We boil the water. Now, normally, I would use a kettle. Once again, we are lacking in tools. So instead, we got the stove at the ready. It is going to turn on. There we go. Beautiful. Now, we wait for it to boil. Patience, of course, is a virtue. And like many great things, patience rewards those who wait. In fighting games, being patient is critical. You don't want to rush, you don't want to make a mistake. And so, patience in these situations will allow you to capitalize on your opponent's openness, their misgivings. This water will take a little bit of a while to boil, but when it's done, it'll be great. Key thing, see that thing over there? We call that a microwave. Do not boil your water in that thing. If you do, I will come and find you. I will find you. I'll break into your house and I'll slap the shit out of whatever you tried to brew out of that thing, okay? That's the number one rule here in this establishment, here in the Virum rule set of making tea. You do not use a microwave. You can use a kettle, you can use a stove, a microwave. What's wrong here? What the fuck do you think you're doing?
I'm making some tea in the microwave.
Hell no, you are not doing that.
Why? What's wrong
Sacrilege.
with tea? Sacrilege? I'll go back to watch some Hentaro then.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, our water is boiled. Now, of course, pour it carefully into the mug. A good amount, all right. Now, the finishing touch. I like to have some milk with mine. Not everybody likes milk. Some like their tea black. I understand. You know, it's all about perspective. For me, I like the extra creaminess, the extra depth of flavor that comes with the milk. Some people really like to just accentuate the flavor of the tea. Much like how different players like to play with different characters, they like to play the same characters in different ways. There are many ways one can brew a lovely cup of tea. And now, of course, the final finishing touch is just to let our creation sit for 1 or 2 minutes. Then it'll be done. It'll be perfect. Just the way a premier British man shows you. Alright. The final step, simply dispose of the tea bag. You may or may not want to keep it, let it brew inside there. I like to dispose of it once the brewing is done. And there we have it. Perfect cup of tea.
You made some tea? Don't mind if I do. Thanks, Miro.
What the fuck have you done?
Man, what the hell?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tea Time Podcast for April 24th, 2023. I'm your host, the illustrious... what do you even want to call me? The chat was calling me a whole bunch of names before we got started because I spoiled the end credits of the Mario movie. But it doesn't matter because I still have a job, unlike Jameson. But I'm joined by my What's going on? How are you, buddy?
Don't do that.
I had
You
to.
gonna
I'm
say
sorry.
hi to me after that, Jameson? I'm sorry, man. I fuck with you, bro. You didn't do
Thank
anything
you.
to deserve this, man. And I'm all right. I'll be
That's
all right.
right. Speaking of someone who doesn't deserve any of the things that we throw at him, we have McDareth. What's going on, McDareth?
Hey, I feel like I should be concerned with that segue, but what's up? Doing well?
Well, no,
You
I
know,
mean, like, because people are always mean to you, and they're always saying we should be nicer to you. Same with Fidel, who's not here, though, so we're going to pick on Fidel if he comes late. But
Yo,
you are
fuck
safe this
Fidel.
week, McDareth.
For now.
They do say we should be nicer. We should be nicer to McDareth, but we're not
we
really
should be.
being
I
mean,
don't-
though. Like, we're
Yeah, it's not
Because
really
we actually
being
like
mean.
him,
We
unlike
all know
Jameson,
each
exactly.
other.
Bro, leave Jameson alone, man.
I don't even know him.
Me neither, and nobody ever will, because he has no job and,
Oh,
no prospects.
oh
anyway.
my God.
Continuing on, I also want to give a quick shout out to McDareth, because McDareth, something happened this past week, and Shofu, I don't know if you know what I'm about to refer to, but something happened this week that shocked me. My jaw was on the floor when I saw this. Nintendo made a tweet about a certain game, McDareth. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. They
And
showed
what happened?
Mega Blastoise from Pokken. Yeah.
That's right. What do you think is going on with Pokken? Do you think they're going to make a new game?
Since our last
What do you
Pokken update, nothing really has changed. They made that tweet, but the chips are in place. Okay. Is it Hoshino? I think it is. I might have got his name wrong now because it's been a while. But the person who was the lead dev on Pokken at Namco Bandai now works at Nintendo, or works at Pokemon Company. He was lead dev for Unite, and now he's no longer on Unite. So there's a person at Pokemon Company who still likes Pokken. Like, he went to the last Pokken event at Worlds. He went to that over watching Unite, which was the game he was currently working on, to support the Pokken scene and take a picture with them and watch the finals. So he still likes Pokken. Harada has tweeted saying that basically they want to do another Pokken. They're just waiting on Nintendo to give them the go-ahead. So the chips are in place. It's inevitable, I'm telling you.
Right on. Something else that's inevitable is the fact that the Xenoblade DLC is going to be played by Coast next week. What's going on, Coast? How are you,
Yes,
buddy?
sir. We got the Xenoblade DLC next week, or technically tomorrow.
It's
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah, that's right. Tomorrow, right.
Yeah, and then we got Tears of the Kingdom in like a week or so as well, man. Nintendo gamers are eating good recently, man.
Someone else who's eating good based on that video is Tito. What's going on, Tito?
All right. I mean, look, man.
I've been that video is clearly doctored. That was not me. Okay.
Someone was breathing heavy. All I know is that
Look,
cameraman was
man,
really
you
breathing.
know that I had a sinus infection when I recorded that. You know that, and I'm fat, so it's double bad.
Look, I was
Okay?
in a hamster outfit. I have nothing.
I'm
I
just
can't say
saying.
anything.
I had a sinus infection. I could barely breathe out my shit. Like, it was crazy. Like, and more importantly, I'm fat, so I don't know. But I held that motherfucker steady though. Hold on.
That's true. And someone, who always holds a steady job, someone who should always be respected, someone who taught us how to make tea correctly, is of course the one and only Viram. Welcome to the show this week, Viram.
It's a pleasure to be here as always. Also, chat, if you didn't know, it was well, technically in my time it's not my birthday, but for a lot of you who aren't in,
Cumpleaños
Happy
feliz.
birthday!
Yeah,
Happy
it's
birthday
basically
to
still my birthday.
you. Happy birthday, Viram. How old are you now?
28.
Be better. All right. Anyway, before we
You're older than me.
Oh my god. Oh my
Wait,
god.
He didn't say be older.
I
He said be better.
No. We
Roger
all
came
love
back
Viram.
from Italy with the most vile mindset ever.
I
know
What
why
they do to you over
mafia
there, bro?
blood in me now is what it is.
It's
I got
because
Capo
I-
in me.
Hey,
People
yo.
are
Yeah, man,
nice
I'm,
over
go-
there,
I'm going to
probably.
Greece this weekend, so I'm gonna be doing
Bro,
good.
why are you flexing on him?
Look at this. Congratulations to my my Euro hopping brother Viram. Congratulations. Greece is lovely this time of year, so I think you're gonna have a good time.
I'm looking forward to it.
One thing though, I do want to shout out at the very beginning of the show, because this happened since the last show. A lot of stuff has actually happened. This is probably going to be a long one today. We have Mario news, Zelda news, Final Fantasy, Street Fighter, a whole bunch of stuff. But we have a small cast this week. A lot of people are out. I think Fidel is still streaming because he hit some sub goal. I don't know where Ricky is, but we do want to give a special mention to Zeph. Of course, Zeph, one of the original members of Japan Time, the Triforce of Awesome. Zeph, as of, I think this was 2 weeks ago. When did he post that in the Discord, saying he just wanted to
I think it was
take a
last
break?
week, right?
Okay. So Zeph tweeted this and put it in the Discord and everything and wanted us to read this on the show. So this is just his message to the Japan Time crew saying, I've sort of been delaying the inevitable here, and it's sort of hard to announce, but I'm just going to get it over with. Sorry to the people in here who watch avidly and actually care about my presence on Japan Time, but for now I have stepped down from Japan Time. Nothing is wrong. I'm fine. I have nothing against anyone on the cast, but I'm not going to be answering any questions about this, and so I'm not being rude if I ignore you. I just want my boundaries respected. Again, I'm sorry to anyone who this disappoints, but this is for the best, and personally, it was just a good time for me. I don't like pinging, but I will pin this in general for at least until the next Japan Time episode airs. Zeph has been one of the longest members on the show. He's been here since the very, very beginning. Obviously, always brought a fun, fresh perspective. He is going to be missed greatly. Obviously, the door is always open whenever he wants to come back. We love Zeph and appreciate Zeph. I know Warchamp wanted to say some things too, but I know Warchamp's busy right now too. So a lot of us are busy. A lot of people are missing, but we still wanted to give a proper send-off to Zeph. We wish nothing but the best for him. Great dude. And again, doors always open. If he ever wants to come back and do shows, we are more than happy to have him. But yeah, that is that. We are absolutely going to miss him.
If you
Missed the
if you
Gengars.
do want to hear his voice still, go catch him on Twitter or
Yes.
his stream.
Twitch.tv/Captain
there,
Zeph. You could check him there as well, absolutely. And I think there's still content that we filmed prior to him leaving. That's like Japan Time bonus stuff that should probably be up. But yeah, if you want to catch him playing Battle Network or something, or just chill and hang out, obviously Zeph streams on Twitch, so make sure to send him some love, hit that follow button, and yeah, our Gengar will always be appreciated, but I wanted to shout that out at the very beginning. Now, with all that being said, what should we start with? Because there was a lot. I think, first thing, how many of you were actually on the spoiler cast for the Mario movie? Because I think we should maybe get the Mario stuff out of the way now, if there's anyone else.
It was
that wants to say
me,
things about it.
Viram, and Mike.
Okay. So really, is there anyone else in the? I guess me and Tito.
We didn't
haven't
talk
talked
about it.
And Fidel,
Fidel
also was not
wouldn't have
there.
either. Okay, exactly. So we'll touch on it very briefly. Mario movie, again, if you want to watch a full spoiler cast about the movie, you can go check out the Japan Time YouTube channel. There's a full video there with a breakdown of a lot of the stuff that was in the movie. Overall, I greatly enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it was a lot of fun, packed with Easter eggs. I think it could have dealt with more Luigi. I think it's the Mario Brothers movie, and there was a little too little Luigi. But on the whole, otherwise, greatly enjoyed it. and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my thing watching it real fast is because it was my first Illumination movie, so like the speed of the movie was like a little wild because I would like more moments where you could sit on characters and like build them out and scenes like that, but it's like no, we just got to go to the next scene. They just kind of move. But I still enjoy the movie.
I haven't watched it, but I heard some people were not to like paint it in a bad light with how people are nowadays, but people were upset that Mario didn't get too much like lead character service, and it was a lot of Peach in the limelight, which again I can't attest to that. Like I don't know.
So I think so in this movie, like Mario is an isekai. Like
Yeah.
Always has been, of course.
it always has been. People just don't know that Mario is actually just an isekai. So for those people who know what that is, it's just a trope that exists where normal guy in normal world goes to fantasy world where he's just a normal guy. And in all of those, there has to be a character who relates, who explains the world to the main character. And in this
That's
movie,
Peach.
it was Peach.
Right.
Right? So obviously Peach is going to be there a lot to like explain the world to Mario, because at the end of the day, like Mario's just a dude, and I don't necessarily like. Here's the thing, right? I don't know, because I'm not super into Mario, which is why I probably didn't like. I wasn't crazy in love with the movie because I just don't. You get a lot about this movie the more you're into Mario, which kind of makes sense out loud. But like, I think it's like with music and you get all the reference. Like, I didn't get any of that shit. Like, I didn't. So it's like, but when you watch the movie, you're like, okay, Mario's just a guy. Peach is here. Toad's here sometimes. Luigi's like never there. There's Bowser. That's cool. There's Donkey Kong sometimes. And it just feels like they're trying very hard to push an ensemble of characters and world build more than establish Mario as a main character, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
like they're trying to be like, this is the world of Mario, not this is Mario. Like, and Luigi. Like, it's just like, and which I don't mind for a 90-minute movie. People were like complaining that it was too long. I think if it was any longer, the movie probably, at least for me personally,
Are you
I
kidding
probably,
me?
So they'll tell me it was.
Everyone's saying the movie's too short.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
I
the
felt
opposite.
like
No,
it
no,
was
no, no,
really
sorry, I
short.
meant to say
That was too short.
everyone's saying, oh, sorry, I meant to say everyone thought the movie could have gone longer, is what
Right,
I meant
right,
to
right.
say.
Oh, right.
I'm
okay.
saying I thought the movie was there, like at 90 minutes. I'm cool with a 90-minute movie. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, personally for me, like, because again, I'm not super into Mario. So, like, anywhere between the 90 to like 110, like 105 minute mark for this particular movie, because of the story that they were telling, I think that actually worked. The only thing you're probably missing with a 90-minute movie is they probably cut all the Luigi shit, if I'm going to be honest. Like, right? Because it feels like everything else was pretty much had to be in the movie. But so, like, I don't know what else you would put there. Like, I don't even. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does that not, like, when you think about those of you who saw the movie, it just sound,
Yeah.
when I was watching it, it felt like, oh, the movie's over. What did they miss? Peach got moments, Mario got moments, Bowser got moments like crazy, Donkey
think-
Kong got moments. Like,
I
it
think
just
it's
seemed like they
mostly
cut all
for
the
me,
Luigi stuff.
The big
Yeah,
issue is like
yeah.
it is they get those moments, but all those moments happen like really quickly. It's like most notably, it's like the big thing. Like I noticed was like, you know, that scene that's even in the trailer. It's not really a spoiler. Where like they're in like the fire flower area where they're trying to have like this cheesy moment with Mario and Peach. I'm like, the only time you've spent is this montage you had for like 2 minutes, and then a montage of you going through the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's like it felt like it's just things are just moving way too fast, you know, and they weren't showing enough of those conversations and individual moments. Like even the Toad, like it's like the Toad, what moment does he really have besides, I guess, cooking in front of the Mushroom Kingdom? You know, like he makes some comments and he kind of like disappears. And then, you know, I get DK is the only one. I feel like DK and Mario's dynamic is definitely like one of the best ones for sure.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
like,
100%, yeah.
absolutely. Like I'm glad they played that. Just like we're working together, but we don't really like each other, and that's okay.
Not to cut you off, but question before,
Yeah.
because I'm going to forget. Is that's supposed to be Captain Toad? Is that the implication?
Yes, yeah,
No,
100%.
I think it's an amalgamation because the other
don't
thing
think
is, because Captain Toad isn't known for cooking. I assumed it was a tie-in with Nintendo World, how they have like Chef Toad and the Toad Cafe.
No, he cooks.
has a
He's,
backpack.
he's
He's a-
yeah, no,
he's
he
a big
sits
ass
down at
backpack.
night. Yeah, he definitely cooks with
Does he?
Toadhead. I think so.
Oh.
He did cook. No, he did cook in the games. And
'Cause I
also,
definitely thought
the
it was meant
biggest
to be like a Chef Toad thing.
no, because the biggest hint you get that he's going to be Captain Toad is when they're doing the montage and they're in the Rock Candy Mountain.
Yeah.
Peach lifts him up with his axe. Like he doesn't like do it himself. Like he can't
Oh, yeah,
jump.
yeah,
like
yeah.
she lifts him up. You know.
Okay, I get it. I get it. The blue toad, by the way, that was the best toad, by the way. Whoever voiced that guy, crazy. Went stupid. No,
Speaking
but
of like, dude, the blue shell thing blew my mind
that
too.
was
Like, and
fire.
turning the blue shell into a suicide bomber, I think was one of the coolest things they could have done, and it certainly was not something that I expected at all. I thought that was such a great
Yeah.
sequence, and
No.
yeah, I
I
guess in
like
terms
everything
of going,
about that sequence besides him yelling
Yeah.
his name. I thought that was pretty silly.
well, because technically, isn't the name of the
It's
thing a
Spiny
spiky shell?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's not blue shell, but he was a
Yeah,
big
but that-
hater, like
yeah.
me and Jameson. Honestly, it's like just a huge
Okay.
hater.
But
Yeah.
I definitely agree with a lot of what Fidel said. But I also think like I don't know. I forget who said it. It was the first Illumination movie, but
Yeah.
this is a very like people like the reason why Despicable Me was so successful as an Illumination film is because it's not like Illumination's other films. It's just not like
Yeah.
the pacing in Despicable Me is more Pixar pacing. But if you look at every other movie that they do, it's actually at roughly the same pace, like in terms of like shit happening back to back. But regardless of that, I think as far as directing, to kind of back up what you said, Fidel, like I also think like that's a conscious choice. They chose to world build over character develop. Like that's,
Yeah,
like,
100%.
like that's a choice that they made, and like I
Yes,
understand like I understand like people, not you, but people being like, no, like I wanted more interaction with the character, and I get it. But I also going into that movie, I know watching it as like an adult, not like a little child who it's made for. This movie is not really about Mario and all them. It's them to establish the entirety of the universe. Then they can get to all the other shit later. Like,
Yeah.
I
I
know
think-
that
I
going
think
in.
Definitely, they're definitely going to because
Yeah.
that shit made millions, almost
A
billions. I don't-
bajillions
Yeah.
of dollars.
Yeah.
Is it even out in Japan yet?
No. it's
No.
not.
Yeah,
No,
so
but
that shit's
already
gonna
broken
make
records.
so much
It's beaten
more.
Frozen 2 already. Like it's
Nintendo's
going off.
Nintendo said that just off of this performance alone that
Yeah.
they want to make more. And I'm actually curious. I wanted to ask you guys this: what you guys think the next IP Nintendo would choose for?
No, I'm glad you asked
hope
because
it's
I
Zelda.
actually think I know what it is, and I don't
Me
think it's
personally,
Zelda.
I think it's DK.
I think it's Pikmin,
Oh no.
and here's why. Pikmin is a franchise that I feel like Miyamoto absolutely positively loves, right? He wants to do stuff with Pikmin. He actively goes out of his way to try to promote Pikmin. There's Pikmin Easter eggs in Nintendo World. There's Pikmin Easter eggs in the movie. The Pikmin, if you really think about it, what are they? They are
Trash.
minions that don't talk, that make weird noises, that are just a bunch of little goofballs. And Illumination is known for making Minion movies. So they can literally take the formula of the Minion movies and put that onto the Pikmin franchise. And I also feel like Pikmin, of any of the other video game franchises that Nintendo has that they can pull from, I feel like Zelda is already a big franchise. Animal Crossing's already big. Splatoon's already big. And I think they kind of need Pikmin to still break out. It hasn't had its moment yet, right?
Stop
Like
the
people.
cap, bro. Stop the cap.
What do you mean?
Something being big is all the more reason to make it a movie over
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no,
Because
no, no,
they
no,
want the
I
movie to
completely
be
agree with you.
lucrative.
100%, of course. But I think they could see Pikmin as an opportunity for the reverse, right? To take a franchise that isn't necessarily huge and actually get it on the level that I think Miyamoto's always wanted it to be on.
Roger, I'm gonna be
Um,
real. If they make a Pikmin movie, that shit going straight to streaming.
Yeah,
man.
bro. This is it's not like there's a reason why they did Guardians 18 movies in. You know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
was gonna compare
I guess-
Pikmin to Ant-Man.
Yeah, no, he's
honestly.
right. I don't
Yeah,
think they
Pikmin-
do Pikmin
Pikmin does
next.
seem more like an Ant-Man for sure.
No.
Me
no.
personally, I think why they would do DK first is because they have all those assets already from the Mario
Yeah.
movie that they don't have to do a ton of work again. And there's a lot of DK characters
agree,
in the
but-
Mario movie that like don't necessarily make sense unless there is like a DK movie to begin with, so
Yeah.
that they can already build off of that. I mean, I also think Zelda would be great to go off of with the release of, you know, Tears of the Kingdom and the massive hype train that's been going on with that franchise recently. So
But you don't think? I mean, Tears of the Kingdom is coming out in like 2 weeks. Like, there's this Zelda movie wouldn't be coming out, or whatever the next Nintendo movie is going to be, wouldn't be coming out for at least like 2 years minimum.
No,
they could still make an announcement within this year that would still tail off into that hype. You know?
I could see
I'm
that.
gonna keep it a buck. I think you get Mario movies forever. Like, not forever, but like you get the next 3 movies that come out for Nintendo or Mario movie. Or
Mario
adjacent.
Cinematic Universe.
And then but anything else like is like if you get anything else in terms of like if you get an animated series through Netflix or something like that, like that's a Zelda shit. Or a Kirby or a new Kirby show. Because like, you know, like clearly that's their demo is children. I mean, that's Mario's a children's movie. So it's like you get Mario. I think you get Super Mario Brothers movies 1, 2, and 3, and then the animated show is, you know, pick a Zelda, pick a Legend of Zelda or Kirby because we all know they like Kirby's huge, but it's like it really depends on what they want to do. But it's like, yo, like it would be crazy like if like there's a proper fully animated like Teen Titans adjacent, like the original Teen Titans adjacent in terms of tonality, Legend of Zelda. Because it's not going to be a cartoon. Legend of Zelda's not going to be a cartoon. It's going to be like an adult animation, young adult animation, basically.
It'll be interesting to see if, because there was that Netflix Zelda thing that happened that was canceled by Nintendo. So it would be interesting to see if there is like a Nintendo type of streaming service that comes to fruition.
I mean, at the very least, it could end up being, right? I mean, they could still do a Netflix Zelda show and just not have it be Illumination.
Yeah.
I think my concern is that, like, if Illumination does another Nintendo movie, I certainly don't want it to be Zelda because I think they're good at what they do, which is, you know, could work for Mario, Donkey Kong, or like Pikmin, or even like Splatoon or something. But I think beyond that, I would rather a different studio. Yeah, Kirby, for sure. They could do like a goofy Kirby thing too. But I think Zelda would belong to like a more respected kind of studio,
like DreamWorks or something.
I think Zelda. I think honestly, as someone said in chat, I was literally thinking the same thing. Like I just think Zelda's 2D. I think Zelda's traditional TV show. The people who drew, someone mentioned in chat, the people who drew the Castlevania.
Oh yeah,
studio.
I mean,
that would be
crazy.
cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, the other thing is too with Zelda. I feel like they already reached out to, was it Studio Trigger? What was the one that did the Kid Icarus animation for Smash 4, where like Sakurai made a big deal about it?
I forget.
But it's like it was a pretty famous studio, like a big animation studio. Maybe Wit. Yeah, I think Wit. Dude, a Wit animated Zelda
that would be fire.
Incredible.
Yeah. The thing is, this is the thing. For me personally, I feel like people are talking about a possible, you know, Nintendo type cinematic universe because that's what everyone's doing nowadays. If Nintendo opts to go for like some Smash Bros type of thing, it'll be very hard to integrate these types of, you know, mediums, whether it's like 2D animated and 3D animated, to bring them all together in one film. It would be a little difficult.
I don't think so.
I feel like Smash Brothers, the whole thing with Smash Brothers is Sakurai's always gone out of his way to make all the characters feel as if they're existing in one world, despite what their art styles are in the games.
Yeah.
And he goes out of his way to do that every time. Like with Brawl, you had the very realistic kind of textures. With Smash 4, you had the high saturation, you know, the brightness. I feel like they would do something similar to that. I think maybe they would use the same voice actors or something, even if the art style was different.
I agree.
But I think overall they would have a shared art style in whatever the Smash Brothers.
So two questions, and one is about Smash Bros. Whatever, but the second one's what is the chance? I'm not saying I want it. You all know I'm very indifferent on Legend of Zelda. But if it is going to be a major like IP in terms like Zelda or Link has to talk, right? Like he has to have a voice, right?
I think he's gonna talk.
Nah,
Yeah, I
bro.
think he would.
Nah, bro.
If Mario's talking,
Not the No, but I don't know. Like he has to talk, right? Like there's no way they can have a whole show where he doesn't talk. Like there's no way.
Unless
I think
go
the
ahead.
only way they could they could do Link not talking is if they made like, you know, an animated movie where he has a cast and they're like, you know,
and they're always
acknowledging
around.
he doesn't, yeah, and they're always around him and they acknowledge like the point that he doesn't talk much and stuff, you know.
I mean,
I don't
like-
think it
like-
could work as a show.
Is
I
he,
think
is,
it would
he,
be
is he
a
like,
movie.
is he like a
right back
John
at ya.
Wick, Samurai Jack,
Yes, yeah.
like adjacent?
Sure,
like
sure.
Samurai Jack
yeah,
is a
yeah.
good comparison to it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but Jack.
But
talks
Samurai
in
Jack
Samurai
talks.
Jack.
Like he talks a
Yeah.
lot. Like
I mean,
not-
hey,
not
who
really,
knows?
but, like, you
Who
know what I'm saying.
knows? Maybe Link talks in Tears of the Kingdom out of the blue. Maybe this is a new
That would
era
be
of
wild.
Link.
Maybe this is it. Maybe
You know?
this is it. I'm glad you bring that up because there was just a new trailer. The final trailer for The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom was revealed a couple weeks ago while I was in Italy, and I gotta say, and I think I speak for everybody on the show.
You heard that flex though?
It's
You heard
looking
that?
pretty amazing.
Not
It
everybody.
does look pretty amazing.
Yeah,
That
like,
was the trailer.
That was the trailer. The
That shit
saxophone
oh my
edition.
god. The scream made my fucking body just go numb, man. That Ganondorf reveal is insane.
And Matt Mercer doing the voice, who
We all
also
knew that,
you know,
though,
was
right?
Levi in Attack on
Yeah,
Titan.
it was
and
rumored,
Law in
like,
One
yeah.
Piece. Yeah,
A while
really
ago.
cool.
it-
Man,
it's
really,
like
that
I'm
trailer
not
was
to the joke,
definitely-
bro.
That's definitely one of the trailer they needed, you know, like the big moment trailer.
Mhm.
Because that game, like, it went from like, again, it went from like, okay, I'm excited for this game because I love Breath of the Wild, so this game is gonna be great. But like, this is a trailer that like this and that gameplay showcase they just had a week ago, like made me in this like, oh, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be something. Like they know what they're doing here. They're cooking, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah, the trailer actually
Now you
sets
can
the
see them.
stakes.
Yeah, now you can see the full marketing force where
Yeah,
they're posting about it constantly. They're putting ads, like it's finally all in
That
motion. now.
trailer like checked off every checkbox
Mhm.
that was needed. Like
100%.
introduce characters that are so like vague that you want to know more about. You see so many interactions and new instances of not only battling but exploration and crafting and stuff like that. Like it's literally everything right with not only the new game but things that they added on in terms of story, gameplay, visuals from Breath of the Wild. It's like I like
Mhm.
this has to be game of the year 100%.
Oh yeah, there's nothing else. I mean, the only thing I think
This is
could maybe
FF16.
with the- yeah, I was gonna say FF16.
FF16.
Looks
Or-
crazy.
I think
Are
it's
you
the other
kidding?
one, right?
RE4?
Yeah.
Dude, FF16 looks crazy.
RE4 is also right there, by the way. Like,
Yeah,
like
yep.
That's
RE4
true.
remake is by, not to go into too much of a tangent. I don't really like RE in general, but I watch a lot of it. Like in terms of playing it, I just hate the
Mm.
controls. But like, by all accounts of everyone I know who has played it, it's a perfect game. Like it's a perfect remake. Like it's
Yeah,
real
the game
crazy.
is amazing.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
I'm
real
I'm
crazy.
terrible at horror games. I'm crawling through that game, but it's really good.
So
on the
question.
topic of Zelda, though, just real quick,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
Coach was bringing it up about like the things that we needed, and I feel like one thing that I needed prior to this was seeing dungeon-like areas, and I think that was something that they were weirdly like trying to hide in previous trailers, or like not really addressing, or they were like, oh, there's these sky islands, but they don't really look like giant dungeon areas. And this clearly, even if they're not technically dungeons, this is what I was looking for, right? Like the minecart area with the fire, that ice area with that giant ice dragon Goma thing. You have like the sand area with it looked like the fish boss from one of the old Zelda games, but now he's like a sand creature. There was just like a lot of areas that look like they are essentially could be the equivalent of dungeons and are these massive things that you explore with puzzles. There was the new commercial where they showed the underground area as well. And I feel like that is what I needed, right? I think for me, more than anything else, like story's great. I love seeing Ganondorf. I love seeing Sidon come back. I think was sick seeing him fight alongside Link. Really
the team
cool.
attacks. Yeah.
So cool. But I feel like for me personally, Zelda is like Mario, right? Like we were talking about the Mario movie
Right.
earlier, where it's like, of course, the Mario movie's got Yoshi in it. It's like with the Zelda thing, it's like, well, of course, Ganondorf is a bad guy, right? Like, of course, Link is
Isn't that
gonna
crazy?
save Zelda
Someone-
or whatever.
Someone
No,
pointed out that Ganon hasn't been there in actually like 15 years.
Yeah.
Ganon,
it's
yeah,
not a long
Ganondorf.
time.
The last game that Ganondorf was in was Twilight Princess. Which
Yeah, that's like,
was
oh, that was weird to
13
hear.
years ago.
Can we?
Technically-
Oh no. Okay.
technically,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
like,
Okay.
in
Okay.
the
Okay.
world
Canonical
together,
game that's not
technically-
Hyrule Warriors.
Can
or
we?
some
Can we?
shit.
Can
No,
we
I
break
was
this
gonna-
down
I
for
was
me
gonna say,
because I'm
bro,
stupid
some
apparently and I'm
cemetery.
ignorant?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, can we just break that down? Because again, one of us has to not play Legend of Zelda, and it's me. So it's
Of
like,
course.
so can someone explain, like, so there's like 8 Links and there's 19 Zeldas, but there's like 3 Ganon.
Mhm.
Like, someone explain.
Okay,
Is it just a
I'll explain real
multiverse? Like,
quick.
I don't.
No. So, Zelda's and
timelines.
Links are reborn every generation. There's always
Wait, hold on. Start
born a Zelda.
over again. You cut out. Sorry.
Okay, so every generation, there's a new Link born, there's a new Zelda born. That's just
Sure.
like, that's how it is. And there's
Sure.
always some type of new evil that's born. So
Okay,
Skyward
sure.
Sword, which is the first game in the series chronologically, is Skyward Sword.
Okay.
Which is like the first Link in the first Zelda that establishes the world, and you've got the Master Sword and everything. In that game, the bad guy, quote unquote, is Demise. And Demise basically curses Link in the final battle, spoilers for Skyward Sword, and says, for every generation, all your children, for the rest of time, I will curse you. And there will always be some new incarnation of him. Sometimes it's Vati, sometimes it's Ganon, sometimes it's Ganondorf. However, the reason you're probably confused about Ganondorf versus Ganon is there's been many incarnations of Ganon, but Ganondorf, the same Ganondorf, has come back in multiple different games. So the Ganondorf of Ocarina of Time is
Okay.
the same Ganondorf that exists in Wind Waker, the same Ganondorf that exists in Twilight Princess, and some people argue the same Ganondorf that's like Link to the Past, which is the giant pig Ganon, where essentially like in the timeline where the hero is defeated and he turns into Ganon at the end of the game, essentially he stays that Ganon and we go into Link to the Past. But essentially, the Ganondorf in this Breath of the Wild version of Ganondorf may or may not be the same Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time, which is what has a lot of people excited. The only thing is that Breath of the Wild, not to get like too much into the lore stuff of it, but essentially,
I'm
Breath of the Wild-
surprisingly following because I play Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts, so I'm surprisingly
Yeah.
following it.
so Breath of the Wild, it's theorized. It's not even theorized. It's known as the last Zelda game. Chronologically, it's the last one. But it's theorized that Breath of the Wild is basically the convergence of all 3 of the timelines. That essentially it's far, far, far future, and the last game in each timeline split, which is Adventure of Link, Four Swords Adventures, and Spirit Tracks,
Sure.
eventually a lot of other shit happens, and those 3 timeline splits eventually converge into Breath of the Wild.
Add to a new point, which is Breath of the
at a new
Wild.
point in time, right? And that this is the direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. And so this one has the same Link as Breath of the Wild, the same Zelda as Breath of the Wild, and potentially the same Ganon, because there's Calamity Ganon in Breath of the Wild. There's not technically Ganondorf. However, not to get like way too much into it.
No. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, so there are images in the original Breath of the Wild of like the first hero of that Hyrule.
Okay.
And the first hero of that Hyrule looks a lot like this Breath of the Wild Ganondorf, and looked like that dating back to Breath of the Wild. So some people are theorizing that in some way, the original hero, like the original Ganondorf that was actually good, somehow got morphed by the darkness of Demise or whatever, and has turned into the Ganondorf that eventually became Calamity Ganon and was, dehydrated to the bottom of the castle and all that stuff. But we don't know exactly.
Okay, so let
yet.
me see if I can explain this back to you. You tell me how wrong I am.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
So there is essentially just an evil force genesis at the first game.
Yes.
Okay.
Demise.
That has different forms and different variations of it in different
time.
points of time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Each game or split off of game series are basically following different versions of the same source. Okay.
Right.
Each one of those sources consequently has their own versions of good, obviously, that are then defeated and it becomes cyclical. They all are, and then they do the thing that some time does where they all diverge so much that eventually, if you go further enough into the future, they all converge into the same point. But it's the same source and the same for both. Because he said, yo, you're gonna just fight me forever. And they're like, oh no, and they're actually just fighting forever, but they're not aware that they're fighting forever, right?
Yeah, like
Well,
each link
yeah, right. Each one-
doesn't know he's
Like
linked.
each one is not
Right,
aware
yeah.
that
Right.
they are in a lineage of people who are destined to fight forever.
Correct.
Yeah,
Eventually
it's
they
like
are.
Okay,
but
Destiny
yeah, right.
pulls. It's almost like the Triforce, because the Triforce is all those 3 pieces. All 3 of them must be present, so they almost always have to converge
Oh.
together.
Right. And so
Oh,
the other thing I
get
didn't
it.
bring up that someone brought up earlier in the chat too.
Thanks,
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, everybody.
The other thing that's kind of important to note is like Zelda is essentially the reincarnation of Hylia, who's like the good goddess, basically, from the very beginning.
Sure.
And the very first Zelda that's in Skyward Sword is like her reincarnation too. So that's like another aspect of it too. But that kind of confuses things, so I kind of left it out. But the only other thing that's kind of confusing though, but you got it, you nailed it, is that
That's a lot of stuff I
because
wouldn't have to-
Ocarina of Time.
you
Ocarina of Time is like
you said what, Chova?
Never mind, never mind.
Oh, I was just
No,
gonna say 'cause-
bro. I
Go
tell
ahead, go
you, the only reason why I was able to, I was like, okay, so this dude is basically Xehanort. Okay, so let me see if I can trace all the fucking bullshit. Okay, so he's Xehanort, but he's also like, but Link is like, I'm really out here, bro. Like it's great.
The only other thing that's kind of weird is that with Link, right? Usually it's not the same Link, except if it's a direct sequel, right? If we get like Phantom Hourglass is a direct sequel to Wind Waker, so like
Yeah, there's
that's
been,
the
like,
same Link.
3, including Tears, as a direct sequel.
Right. And then the other thing is that Link, right, the Ocarina of Time version of Link, is essentially the most important one in all of the timelines because his death or success leads into all the other ones. So essentially, like, if he dies in Ocarina of Time, like assuming you get to the game over screen in the final boss, right?
Sure.
That branches one timeline in which, like, Hyrule goes into a decline, Ganon's revived. That goes into like Link to the Past, Oracle of Seasons, Link's Awakening, I think the original Zelda, and then Adventure of Link. And then there's the timeline in which Link beats Ganondorf, or beats Ganon in Ocarina of Time, and he's successful, and he stays in that timeline. He's successful, and he eventually goes back, but like the world lives on, right? With
Sure.
his success. That is, and he goes back to live his childhood. That is Majora's Mask, right? Because that's the same Link as a child. That's Majora's Mask. That kid in Majora's Mask then gets lost in the woods and becomes a skeleton and becomes the Link that teaches the Link of Twilight Princess how to use his abilities. So that
Jeez.
leads into Twilight Princess.
Yeah, there's like a skeleton guy who's teaching you
Right.
how to use the moves, and it's
But the
technically that
skeleton
Link.
guy is the same Link from Majora's Mask and also the same Link that's Ocarina of Time Link. So there's that. And then the third one.
The additional proof of that, by the way, is so most Links are left-handed with their sword, but Twilight Princess Link is right-handed because obviously he's tied with the Wii remote.
Right.
Um,
Right.
And the skeleton uses the left hand in the sword because he's supposed to work as a mirror to your actions.
Ah,
So that's that timeline. And then the other timeline is the world in which, you know, Hyrule goes on.
Am I the
and
only one
Ganondorf
learning
is
here,
sealed away.
or is like Shofu? Are you listening? Like,
No, I'm
He's
learning
learning.
plenty. The only
Yeah,
Zelda
yeah,
game
yeah.
I've played is Breath of the Wild. That was like my start. So
So I'm
know.
happy to
Okay.
fill you in. This is good.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I'm listening.
not because like
Essentially-
if it was just me, I didn't want to be like I didn't want to. I was
no,
just,
of course. Yeah.
Well, there's probably
Please
someone
tell me if
listening
you're
who doesn't know
Of
this
course.
yeah, that's why I'm asking. That's why
Yeah.
I was asking chat
Yeah.
too. I was asking anybody. Like I was like, okay,
Yeah. So then the last one after all of that, which is like the adult timeline, is the one in which Link goes back, right? He goes back to live out his childhood in that one timeline that's Majora's Mask, but that leaves a Hyrule without Link. And the world is still good, right? Like Ganondorf was sealed away, whatever, everything's fine, but there's no longer a Link in that world. So what happens eventually is Ganondorf breaks free of his seal, and the world gets flooded. They seal Hyrule away, and it gets flooded, and that's what turns into Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass, and then Spirit
that's
Tracks.
why you're on a boat the whole game.
So that's why you're
Yeah.
on a boat the whole game. There's a whole different Link. He's not like the hero of time. He's the hero of winds. There's all this other stuff, and like even Zelda's not the same. Zelda's Tetra and like all this other kind of stuff. But those are the three splits. But the only games that exist prior to the split, and they're still all different Links, are Skyward Sword, then Minish Cap, then Four Swords, and then Ocarina of Time. And essentially, like, Demise, who was the bad guy in Skyward Sword, his first like evil incarnation before even Ganon is Vati, who's like the bad guy of Minish Cap and Four Swords, and eventually the bad guy of Four Swords Adventure, like way down the line.
Sure.
And then Ganondorf, like the Ganondorf that you see in Ocarina of Time, who becomes Demon King Ganon and all that stuff.
Which one's the melee
he is-
Ganon?
Right.
That's
He is
Ocarina
the
of Time.
first.
Yeah.
It's to our knowledge at this point in the story, he is the first Ganon to exist. There's no other Ganon prior to him. He's the first one.
And that's why he's the goat.
And that's
Okay.
why he's the GOAT.
The goat.
Thought he was
GOAT!
big.
The GOAT!
I get it.
Yeah.
I get
So
it.
there you go.
I get it
There you
now. Okay.
Also, so,
Okay.
like, this is kind of like an obvious thing, but if you don't really think about it, maybe it's not so obvious. That, like, this first time Ganon's ever Ganon's technically talked, right? Because in Twilight Princess he is text, but
Sure.
for a voice is the first time Ganon has ever talked.
First time he's been fully
There's-
voiced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a first time for a
Right.
lot of stuff with Tears of the Kingdom. So
Looks
Oh
amazing,
well.
man.
Well, thank you, Roger. That was very.
You were very
I mean, I'm
welcome.
not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm still not gonna play this game, but that was very. I like learning, so that was good.
Fine. But it's good stuff to know if you even tangentially know about
I'll watch
Zelda
a
or
speed
play
run.
other Nintendo things, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
speedruns are gonna go crazy for this game.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
thing, the one thing I don't know if you guys are still, like if there's anything left about this game you guys want to talk about. But one thing I was curious about when they dropped a lot of this stuff for the Tears of the Kingdom, they like also like they shadow dropped like Nintendo Switch Online games for the Genesis and some other stuff, and like they had the whole
Xenoblade.
Indies presentation and Xenoblade. Like I feel like they just could have done a direct. Like am I
Easily.
wrong in thinking that?
Yeah,
I
I think
think-
the reason they didn't is they wanted Zelda to have its own thing. I think the indie world, if anybody watched it, like we're not even really going to talk about it. It was a very disappointing one comparatively. There was like
Yeah, they're always in April.
Holiday
Yeah.
fans get fucked.
Yeah, but I feel like the indie world didn't have much. Zelda, they wanted to be its own thing. And Xenoblade, it's kind of in the same situation as Fire Emblem, where I think they wanted to get all the DLC for both of those games out before Zelda dominates the conversation. Because a lot of people are like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom's the last big Switch game. But it's like, people are forgetting Pikmin is literally this summer. Like, there's other stuff coming out. Fidel,
Oh,
you've
you need to
talked
stop
about
talking Pikmin,
ad
bro.
nauseum. You think there's going to be a Mario game this holiday, too. So
It has to be
there's
something.
stuff. And on top of all of that, I'm so glad you brought that up, Coast. The other thing that got announced amidst all of this Nintendo news is that even though there's not going to be an E3 and E3 is canceled, Nintendo is essentially doing their own E3 event.
Mm.
So for anyone who has followed Nintendo Live for the past couple years in Japan, it's basically this giant conference of Nintendo fan love and lore, where they have like concerts for Splatoon and Animal Crossing.
Oh,
they have
is
Smash
it like
tournaments, Mario Kart tournaments?
Is it like a FF14 Fan Fest? Is it like that?
Kind
like
of.
that. It's
Or is it like
kind of
obviously
even
that, but
more
bigger, right? Obviously,
Yeah,
like
right.
Okay.
Where
I
they're
understand.
going to have like sets built out and stuff. And every Nintendo Live that's been in Japan has apparently done very well, and people enjoy them. They have like live concerts, like not just live concerts with the little holograms of the Squid Sisters and KK Slider or whatever, but like actual music concerts. And it's just, it sounds like it's going to be a good time, but it's interesting that they're choosing now to do it outside of any other time. Because to me, that says to me that there's probably something big this holiday that they either want to announce at their own event, and they want to put the effort that they would have put into E3 into something else that's their own big, like, live stage thing. So whether that's like the Mario game, like Fidel is saying, or we do end up getting the Switch successor announced or whatever, I think Tears of the Kingdom is not the end in terms of really big Nintendo news this year. So
Yeah, I'm just completely shocked by the fact they shadow dropped the Xenoblade DLC like that. Like I was fully expecting months later to see that
Yeah.
shit, and
Yeah.
and I was completely blown away by that.
Kind of
Didn't they
fitting
originally
considering
announce it was
that.
going to be by the end of the year? They didn't say it was going to be an early summer or late spring kind of game.
Yeah, but again, just under the assumption with Tears of the Kingdom's release,
Yeah, yeah.
like I didn't expect it to be like weeks before. So
I think it's also kind of fitting, just considering the base game was released quote early, because it originally had that September 2022
Yeah.
release date, and then it got pushed like to
Yeah,
like,
they
July.
swapped it in Splatoon.
Mm.
I also have to say, I'm surprised that Fire Emblem has all its DLC done already.
That's
I
because
am
that
too.
game
Yeah,
was
quick.
done. That game was done for a while, probably.
Yeah, because it was originally intended to be an anniversary game, but they didn't want
Yeah.
to release it so close
Yeah.
to Three Houses.
I also kind of think them getting that out there is them expanding the timeline between whenever the next Fire Emblem is going to be. Like, I think the next Fire Emblem, it's probably a remake, it's probably genealogy, and it's probably been done for a while too. And I think they're probably sitting on their hands and didn't want to come out with a game at the beginning of this year, have a bunch of DLC for it, and then at the very beginning of next year be like, oh, by the way, we have another game right after they end the DLC. I think they want a little bit of time to simmer where people can go play the other Fire Emblem game and have about a year to actually miss it before they create another one. So
It sounds like you know something.
Speaking of
I
creating
don't
another
know
one.
anything.
Speaking of another one,
What's up, Tito? Where are you going with this?
in about 5 weeks, we got another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Bro, why did they
Another
bring
one.
Lil Wayne? Why did they bring Lil
Look,
Wayne? to
bro,
present that
Weezy
thing,
fucks
man?
with Street Fighter, and so should you.
Oh, this is Street Fighter.
All he needs is a beat with a DMX sample.
Okay.
All I need is Street Fighter 6 expeditiously.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
They dropped a couple days ago, last week, whatever, a presentation, which is basically just like essentially just like a features presentation. Like
Yep.
where they basically is like, hey, like basically just a single player presentation focusing on everything that's not ranked because we all know that it's there. We got this game has so much content for casual players, which if you are a competitive player is what you want. You want as much
Yep,
casual
yep.
content in your games as possible. That way casual players will buy the game and the game does better and they make more stuff for your game so you can go O2 a tournament. That's what you want
That was
for your
crazy.
games. Okay? So,
Why'd
But
you have to add that last part?
huh? What? What you mean?
Never mind.
All right.
Speaking the truth, though.
Yeah,
Tito, you'll be
but-
happy. You'll be happy if you look at the shooting, the podcast chat. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But we got like a lot of stuff about the single player. We got a lot of stuff about kind of like the world tour mode. We got a lot of stuff about kind of the online features. We gotta look at the lobby. They're doing like a mini DBZ lobby. If those of you who are familiar with how Fighters does their lobbies, where you have a lobby and you have multiple quote unquote cabinets, so you can run 3 matches at once and you can choose who you spectate, which is cool. Which is like Capcom is leaning more towards they're doing what people have been complaining about for a very long time, which is keeping their Capcom sensibilities in terms of game design, but becoming a 2023 company in terms of UI, quality of life, and content features. Like they're basic, like Capcom, this arguably, not even arguably, I think this will be the most financially successful year in the history of the company. Because like they just dropped
with
RE4
both RE4 and
and
SSX,
Street Fighter 6 in the same
yeah,
year.
it's huge.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I'm just really excited to play the game. I'm excited for all the degeneracy I'm going to see from everybody playing their creative characters and fighting them in a lobby.
I'm not
That'll be
excited.
hilarious.
I've already been seeing some
And also,
stupid
we have to
stuff.
give a quick shout out. We have to give a quick shout out as well. You mentioned successful year and all this other stuff. Also, Battle Network, which is apparently the
Yes.
fastest selling of any of the Mega Man collections they've ever released.
That has been doing super
incredibly well. Yeah. So Capcom's on a roll
Nice.
this year. They really are.
So, I mean, I bought the Mega Man collection, and I think I have maybe an hour played when I was a kid on the first Battle Network. So, and I'm playing it now. So,
Nice.
But it's by like a huge margin. It was wild. It was like I forgot where I saw the statistics, but I think the next closest was the Legacy Collection, like the 3DS version of that.
Mhm.
And I think it was like in that first week or the launch sales of like the collections, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection beats the Mega Man Legacy Collection on 3DS with the special Mega Man Amiibo by 40,000 units, which is like absurd for a collector's edition, like compilation game. So yeah, people love their Battle Network and they've been waiting for it. So
yeah, I'm about to say, is that due to the fact that it hasn't been released since release, like anywhere?
I think it's
It
that,
has
but I
a,
think
it has a pretty good fan base.
yes, yeah.
I
I think it's that
also-
the
I-
audience that likes it is like really hardcore into it.
I just can't wait till we just get to the point now, because obviously I love these collections. I'm happy they're having them, but it's like I just want to get to that point now where we get new Mega Man stuff, because all we got was 11, and they just haven't been doing stuff. I want X9. Give us a new Battle Network. Give us another mainline one. Give us another Star Force of Legends. Like once they maybe get a Star Force collection out there, like start pumping out like the new games consistently now.
I feel like the next mainline one is gonna happen
X9,
eventually.
please,
right? Yeah,
please, just X9,
right.
man.
Or X9. I could see them doing that.
I think Capcom put out some sort of statement recently about what games they have planned for development or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember
I do
where,
think-
but I think it might be listed within it.
It would be kind of odd though if we don't get a Battle Network with the success of how big Battle Network
Yeah,
has
no, for
been
sure.
now. I feel like they probably are looking at that and going, if we're gonna do another spinoff and make a sequel or something, maybe sorry Legends 3, but like Battle Network 7 might be the way to go.
I do. Before we get off of Capcom, I just want to
Of
say,
course.
like,
yeah.
there is a thing that I think Veerman and I have been talking about for a little bit, and I might have brought it up here, but like, I really believe in the next 12 months, you're gonna see a renaissance of fighting games bigger than 09.
Oh,
Like, I
easily.
think-
We talked about this in a previous episode
Yeah, like
too. Yeah.
I think, like you have Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, you have Project L
L,
coming out in
yeah.
2089. You have
Pokken
and, like
2.
that's not even to mention all the other more niche games. MK12. When I've never look, man, I didn't say MK12 because that doesn't exist until I see it. So
Grand Blue Rising.
Grand Blue Rising,
Right,
I was-
right.
and other smaller niche games like Guilty Gear is
pick
probably going to come
Aichi?
out with. Guilty Gear is probably going to come out with it's like Guilty Gear Strive, awesome underneath upside down revamp, like whatever the fuck they're going to call it. Like it's going. Fighting games have never been bigger, and I think that like there's going to be a new generation of fighting game players that are going to arrive in the next 12 months that will replace the 09er thing. Like,
Yep.
it's crazy.
Oh, quickly pivoting back to Street Fighter specifically as well. Towards the end of that showcase, they also revealed the first year
Oh,
of
true.
DLC characters, the first
Yes,
season pass,
sir.
which
Fuck
are
so
the
cool,
four the lead
My boy
characters in that
Rashid.
roster. The four characters: Rashid in summer, Aki in autumn, Ed at the start of next year, so like January, February-ish, and then Akuma in spring of 2024.
Bro, Akuma looks nut.
Yeah,
They went for the Shin
insane.
Akuma look for him.
Mm-hmm.
He got the white hair. He looks crazy.
Bro,
I
he
really dig that look on him.
Me too.
And I'm seeing, again, there's not really a lot. The game's gonna come out in 5 weeks, but I'm seeing it a lot in chat. Like, do y'all think the music is ass?
I haven't
It's-
heard
It's
I
that.
like it.
No,
I like it.
I like it, but it's like
it's fine, yeah.
I listen to a song and that's it. I am not like this is a banger that I gotta go back to.
There's some songs
I
that are
think-
pretty good, but I feel like this has happened before. Like
That's what I'm saying.
Third Strike and Street Fighter 3, and then also with like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. People hated the soundtracks of those when they came out. Now people love them.
Right. People
I think
who might
with-
be younger do not know that nobody fucked with a lot of the Third Strike music when that game came out. Like,
Really?
Like, yes. Because it's weird. It's weird. Like,
It's good though. I love it.
Exactly. You gotta because you play the game, you build, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you build with the character, but you also have to understand, not you, but like people have to understand, like, Street Fighter Third Strike music fits with Third Strike specifically so well that it brings up it's evocative of a lot of different things.
Yeah, like,
like,
if,
you don't
if
have
people
the-
grow to love the game, they will grow to love the music.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
you
think
gonna say,
in the
Viren?
case of Street Fighter 6, there's a lot less focus on like really punchy, memorable melodies, and more of a focus on creating a bit more atmospheric music that feels like it captures the character themselves. Like,
I agree.
quite a few of the newer characters in particular, like I listen to like Marissa's theme or JP's theme or
JP's
Lily's
theme is
theme, or I listen to those and I think, yeah, these themes really fit these characters, even if they're not like super memorable and super punchy like you would expect them to. Like you listen to like Street Fighter 4 Zangief's theme, and that theme slaps, but I don't think of the sax when I think of Zangief. I think of something a lot more kind of imposing, a lot more.
Yeah,
kind
I think of an organ.
Yeah, and I think Street Fighter 6's theme and Street Fighter 5's as well. That remix probably fits him better, even if as a piece of music, it's not as close to one's tastes.
We'll see.
I have a feeling this is going to be incredible, though. Like, I'm somebody who I like Street Fighter, but it's never been like my absolute favorite. But I am super, super excited to play this one. And Cammy's grown on me, and I just feel like everything about this looks good. The art style grew on me. Like, I think, remember we talked about on the show before, we had like that leaked version of the art? There was like a character sheet that, and I remember looking at those characters being like, man, I am not messing with this at all. And then now that we've actually seen the reveals and seen them in action, I'm like, man, these are some of the best instances.
I fuck with it so heavy off rip, bro.
Just in motion, everything just looks so good. And it's such a feature complete initial release that it's very rare for especially like Capcom fighting games, just modern fighting games in general. We haven't
game.
Yeah. It feels like this is a very complete package right off the jump. Not to mention they're going to be supporting it for probably years to come.
Oh yeah,
I feel like they learned from Street Fighter 5.
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it always lasts like as long as the console generation, basically.
I don't know about that.
Usually, right? Like Street Fighter 4 was all a PS3. Well, no, ever since the era that DLC has been a thing,
right?
You know,
yeah.
Like, because I feel like Street Fighter 4 or 5,
4 was like what 08, 09 to 16. Street Fighter 5 was obviously 16 to this year. So
I feel like that's also because Capcom's like fighting game division was pulled back so much. So we didn't get a bunch of different games. You got the same game with small updates to it.
Yeah, I love Super Street Fighter 4 and Ultra Street Fighter 4. Yeah.
You can't forget about Arcade Edition 2012.
Right. Oh, and the 3DS version too. How can I forget about the 3DS version?
Oh my gosh, the 3DS version that was at launch. I forgot about that. Wow. Wow. Yeah, a lot of good stuff though. And something else that's coming out in June, a lot of people are excited about, Final Fantasy 16. There was a state of play for Final Fantasy 16 that happened the day after the Zelda trailer, correct?
It was before or after, I forget.
So did any of you watch it? Because I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I withheld watching it just because I kind of want to go into that game like pretty fresh.
Yeah,
I just want to.
Oh, the FF16 presentation?
Yeah.
I watched most of it because like I'm someone who like with that game, like I can watch and still have a good thought about it. That game looks insane. Like I was with you guys, or like I saw Zelda that morning and I was like, I don't care about the FF16 presentation. And then I saw that and I was like, dude, no, this looks fucking crazy. Like the combat is like Devil May Cry on crack, obviously, because they have that combat director. The world looks insane, the music, but what stands out the most, like the Titan fights, those like the big scale battles, because that's always a worry in games that you do like Titan fights. Like, are you just a big character like spamming back and forth? But the way they basically designed the Titan fights is that each Titan fight is like a different genre of game. So like one Titan fight will be like a space shooter type thing. One Titan fight is going to be like almost like a platformer. One Titan fight is like a wrestling match. And like they've designed them to be these like crazy epic scale fights, but they like switch genres between them and it's insane. And obviously the music is incredible. I'm not like, the only thing I'm not too sold on is still like the characters, because I feel like with Final Fantasy, characters right away stand out as like, oh, I know what you look like, you look cool. But that's probably because they're like changing their design philosophy with the game. But aside from that, like areas, music, combat, set pieces look phenomenal.
I want to talk about the character thing real fast, because like, I don't know. For me in Final Fantasy, I feel like half the joy is like it's like a Xenoblade game. You play the game and you know nothing about these characters, so by the end of the game, you like them. So going in, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm supposed to feel something. Yeah, I feel something for Cloud because I already know who Cloud is.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that's
anyone
true.
else, that you don't know them until you actually see what they go through, kind of thing.
With combat, like I watched that combat section of the trailer, and I don't know if it's just me, and maybe other people can touch on it, but I feel like with modern games nowadays, a lot of the times with combat, I feel like it's heavily carried by visual effects and cinematics.
Talk
And
your
not to say
shit,
that
Ghost.
not to say that it's like a bad thing, but watching the gameplay, I feel like, yeah, cool. This I will really enjoy bits of this like every now and then in the game. But at a certain point, it feels like, man, you're kind of just mashing the same thing, and
Yes.
it's kind of senseless. Like there was definitely some cool things that I saw. Don't get me wrong, but I hope it doesn't suffer from that problem, because it will be such a letdown.
You know
I don't-
exactly.
I don't think
Ghost,
it
and
will.
I can talk about this because I'm the only one on earth who played this game. Forspoken was exactly like that, bro. I played that game, and every attack I did looked cool as hell, but I was hitting 2 buttons the whole time.
Yeah,
And when I watch FF16 gameplay, I'm like, I still didn't even like so much the FF7 remake gameplay as much. Like, it was cool, it was fine, I was kind of indifferent on it. But even though that was less visually appealing, like, I felt like I was doing things all the time when I was playing Cloud, or even when I was playing Barrett, like when you're just holding the gun forever. Like, but here it just looks like there's a bunch of shit, there's a bunch of elemental shit happening. You're switching spells occasionally, but really you're just mashing square or whatever the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what
that's
looks like.
how I
Well, I think-
interpreted it. Yeah,
So I think the depth of it's going to come from how you can mix and match. So like which Titan you use determines what your abilities do in different
Yeah.
parts.
aren't
So
they
to
called
me,
icons?
yeah,
they're
Yeah,
called the
Titan-
icons.
Sure.
yeah,
I only know
Titans
that
like
because
the
at 14.
fights.
I only know that because 14.
But yeah,
Yeah,
So which
and-
icon you have on dictates like what your moves will do in a given sense, and you can swap icons on the fly. So like I feel like that's where preventing you from just I just press this button and win is going to be. You can pick which icon you want to use or what the setting calls for, and then switching between those is how you're going to express character. It's like in DMC, right? You're switching weapons, you're switching stances. That's where what makes it something special comes from, is the fact that as a player you can express yourself through the way you're playing. I think that's what
To me, it kind of feels a little bit like the different, like the Brave mode or whatever in like Kingdom Hearts. You know how there were the different versions of.
Oh, you mean the forms? You mean the forms?
The different forms. Yeah. It kind of
Brave
feels like
mode
that
is
to me a little
you're
bit.
thinking of remake with Cloud. That's what you're thinking of.
Right. Oh yeah, correct. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's funny you say that about the combat though, Coast, because I kind of feel like I was somebody who was pretty down on the combat the first couple times we saw it. Not because it looks bad or that I had like no faith in it. It's just that to me, I'm somebody who, and I've talked about this on the show before, I get sick playing action games like pretty frequently.
Right.
I can't play Bayonetta. I can't play Devil May Cry. Just from watching the trailers of this, and I haven't seen this full presentation, but I've seen like a lot of the recent footage. I actually don't think I'm going to have a problem with this one.
Okay.
I think the balance from what I'm seeing with the camera and with the different like variations of the camera and the variations of the combat, I think I'm going to be okay to play this one. And that's cool, because I think for me, I wrote this off a couple months ago where I was like, I know I would enjoy this, but I don't know if I'm going to actually physically be able to play it. And now I think I will be able to. I think I'm going to give it a shot. And yeah, I think it seems really cool. Like you could tell that a lot of the team that worked on FF14 is working on this. I
Yes.
think even down to like the little quest stuff that's up in the corner and everything, like the different quality of life features they're putting in there too with the combat, and making it where even if you're not like super, super good at action games, you can use different accessories to like make the timing easier. It's like almost like badges in Paper Mario is kind of how it seemed to me, where it was like these different things will give you different abilities and potentially change how you're playing the game. There's like an auto dodge badge or something, but it looks
I'm not
really cool.
super worried about the combat. Like that's how I viewed it just from the
Yeah.
the 2 minutes or 3 minutes it gave me. I'm pretty sure the combat director in the game is like the same person. who worked
It's
on
Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
That's something
literally
no
Devil May
worries,
Cry,
because
right,
DMZ5
right.
combat is
No, it's
like
good.
literally one
I
of the
played
best
DMC5,
combat
yeah.
systems. Like, I think the thing about this combat system, if it's anything like DMC5, it's going to be very like creatively flexible, where like you can just do cool shit that like your style fits to a lot, you know? And there's some Kingdom Hearts elements in there. Like he has like the shot lock that Sora has in Kingdom Hearts
Mhm.
3.
Yeah, he does.
So he's got some moves.
I just hope
No.
it doesn't feel mashy and like.
Yeah,
bland,
no, I'm
that's
with
all.
Coast though, because
No,
I
I
also
get
thought
you.
the same. I think it was just like the clip that they showed, especially when he was like
Yeah.
long range and doing all the fight. Like it looked mashy. Like so, I'm with Coast here.
Cool.
Yep.
Another game real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's only like me and Tito here are gonna play this. Is
Huh?
Diablo 4 is in June. And
I
that
don't think I'm
had,
playing that.
Okay, so
Oh.
Diablo 4 is in June. I'll be playing that. So
Respectfully, I looked at the date that game released. I said, "You want to play this game for how long before Street Fighter?" I said, Cap.
no, it's not even how long before. They're the same day. So I'm playing D4. It's unfortunate. But yeah, with that game, hopefully Blizzard doesn't shit the bed. They've been showing some cool stuff and some well, the beta happened. They're doing another beta in like May, but they showed some end game stuff on a stream they did that looks pretty interesting.
End game stuff they showed.
Yes.
Jeez.
You got to show endgame stuff when it comes to like MMO stuff. Like you got to show
okay.
people what the fuck they can do after they beat the main
That's
scenario.
fair,
You gotta
yeah,
show them
yeah.
why they gotta play the game for 3
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a game like Diablo, you finish the story around level like
The story is not
maybe
the
30.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you go all the way up to 100, just grinding gear, making your character stronger and stuff like that. So they talked about what's there to do. So yeah, hoping the game doesn't suck. We'll see.
Why do you think it's gonna suck?
Because
He
so
doesn't think it's gonna suck. He says he's hoping it doesn't suck.
it's because of Blizzard. That's why.
yeah.
Because like
That's fair. Okay.
as someone who's been a Blizzard fan for way too fucking long, they unfortunately recently have just shit the bed with everything. Like
Recently,
WoW is in
isn't that the past 2 years?
yeah. When
Yeah.
you're comparing to the 20 years, yeah, it's recently.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
WoW is in like unfortunately Dragonflight, the new WoW expansion is like one of the best expansions of WoW I've ever played. It's very good. My guild died, so I stopped playing. But very good expansion, so that got my hopes up. D4, it looks like it's going in a good direction now, but it's just like Blizzard has had a track record of just doing dumb shit because they decide we think this is best. You don't know what you're talking about when people tell you that's not going to work, and they just go ahead with it, and then that shit sucks, and they have to spend years fixing it. So I'm hoping they don't do that this time.
How's the new hero in Overwatch?
Oh,
Wasn't there a new hero since the last show?
Lifeweaver? Lifeweaver? Yeah, I
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
He very weird, but cool. He makes a big tree. Well, that's cool. He
That's
does.
cool.
He does. You know, like he makes a big tree and it heals people, and that's cool. But he's a weird guy. Oh, weird guy. Like that game's
Okay.
Overwatch is if you like Overwatch, it's still fun. But like,
Oh yeah, it
people-
definitely is.
like yeah, it's just people. You know, it's fine.
I just saw there was a new hero when I was gone, and I was very curious.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, there's too much shit, man. We need
There
Yeah,
is.
we need to have a seat with these developers, man. They're just pushing shit out day in
They're
and
trying
day
to
out,
make
man.
some money, man. It's crazy.
Not all of
it's-
them.
Too much content.
It is weird though, because I do feel like there was a huge drought last year for a pretty substantial amount of time. And now there's just way too much stuff that I'm never gonna get to.
I
And
feel
you
like
really
it's
do have to
probably
pick and choose.
after effects of COVID.
Yeah,
People finally
I'm
Yeah.
sure
having
that's
the
what it
ability
is.
to finish
Yeah.
all their games and release them.
Oh, which I don't, because I think we're towards the end of kind of
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
want to talk about. In honor of our boy Zep, he's not dead. I don't know why I'm saying, but in terms of
In
games
honor
that
of
I
Steph, who died.
yeah, he's a Gengar, bro. He can't die. But
Right, exactly. He's a ghost.
things that we've been playing. So I've been playing, just getting back to FF14 crafting, but that's like whatever. That's fine. Playing Battle Network blind for the first time. Like I basically,
good.
I don't know if I like it. I'll finish the game and then I'll know.
Where are you right now? Are
I
you playing
am.
in order?
Yes.
Okay, you're playing Battle Network 1. Where are you in
Yes.
Battle Network 1 right now?
I just finished some like this guy was like making a bunch of booger water and I beat him.
Ew.
Okay.
And I mean that's what he was doing. I don't know what
No,
I'm just
yeah,
reporting
yeah.
what happened. I'm not telling you how I
Yep,
feel about it.
Yep.
And then some guy drank the booger water and then he almost
Okay.
died and He did. It was like purple and green. There were chunks in it and shit.
He's
Like, it
just
was
saying
gross.
how it is, man.
Yeah, like. Then there was a kid in the trunk of a car. Yeah, Iceman. There it is. Yeah. So I just fought Iceman. So I guess I'm like 60% of the way to the game. I don't know. But
Yeah, you're about half, I think.
yeah, something like that. But like regardless, like I said, I don't know if I like it or not. I just don't know. But the big thing that I've been actually playing recently, other than Marvel Snap and the usual games that are in my rotation, is I just started Mage Seeker, the newest game from Riot, the League of Legends RPG.
Okay.
And I'm about like an hour and a half in. It's very good. I played their last game, which was Ruined King, which was have you heard of Battle Chasers? The RPG. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay, well, it's the same studio that made Battle Chasers, which is a really, really cool like RPG. If you haven't tried it, try it out. But it's the same team. Made Ruined King, and then Riot published Mage Seeker, which is an RPG, different studio. Very good game. Really cool. It's not 16-bit, it's not 32-bit, but it's like bit art. It's really cool. You play as Silas in the game, which is like a mid laner in League. His whole gimmick is that he steals other players' ultimates. So the game, like, you're stealing your enemy's spells and you're adding them to your own, and then you're using them to fight other people. So it's cool.
Did you play
Zero-
Ruined King? All of Ruined King?
Did I play it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I beat it. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, actually, it was a little long. Pause. But like, I think that's because like, I kind of took a break. Games came out and I came back to it. But it was beautiful. The game's fully voice acted. It's very good.
Wow.
Like it's you know what it is, Roger? It's a really good Switch game.
Okay.
It's a very good
Alright.
Switch game.
Because
Actually.
I've had that on my watch list of like things I will eventually get to and want to try.
Misfortune's in that game.
That's what I was gonna say. The Bilgewater girl. I couldn't remember her name.
Yeah.
Misfortune.
Misfortune's in the game.
Right.
It's Misfortune. So the characters you get are Misfortune, Braum, Ari, Yasuo, Pike. I think that's it. Oh, and Alawi.
Ari's the KDA one, right?
Yeah, so buff girl who throws tentacles at you, pirate girl, samurai edgelord, pirate edgelord guy, and fox girl. So you get the gamut.
Right.
Yeah,
on.
it's a
Speaking
gamut
of speaking of good Switch games,
Thought you were gonna say speaking of fox
please.
girl.
something
Please.
that I've been playing recently that I've been really enjoying and I've held off on playing for a long time.
Yes.
Eastward, an amazing
Oh.
RPG. Actually,
Not where I
such a
thought you were
phenomenal
going.
game. No, dude, this Eastward is like the most laid back RPG you can play, and like the writing in it is so good. I absolutely love the writing for this game.
So I heard people comparing this to Earthbound.
I can
Is
see
that
how
similar?
there's similar tonality in a way. I wouldn't say that necessarily, but yeah, I can see how someone could view it as similar to Earthbound. There is dark stuff in it, like it does get creepy. You know, it's very opposite from how it's marketed and shown, like from trailers or the game cover and stuff like that. But no, it's really fun. Like the combat is like not really combat; it's like beat 'em up combat, and has RPG elements. The world is like there's great areas to explore. It's fun mechanics in it. It's really fun. It's really fun. Y'all should give it a try if you haven't already.
I literally have it
Nice.
sitting on my Switch from one of the indie worlds a while ago where Nintendo was like, oh, here's codes for stuff for the brand ambassadors. And we all got to choose a couple games. And that was one of the ones I pulled. And I've just never touched it. So
Yeah, you
hearing
should
that it's
give it a
really
try for
good,
sure.
I definitely want to play it. I will
The
play it
only
eventually.
thing
Yeah.
is like halfway into the game or so, it like kind of slows down a bit because there's a lot of like back and forth fetch quests. But
Okay.
if you can like get through that, it's like really worth it.
Right on.
What did you
Sick.
think I was
What
gonna say?
I thought you were going to say Advance Wars.
I
Because
haven't
Oh.
got a chance to start it, man.
Because that's what you've
Is
been
it
playing,
good?
Roger.
yes, indeed. I love this.
It's gonna be my plane game tomorrow.
knows Advance Wars
game
to me,
actually
like I
coming out?
grew up. It's out now.
Oh,
You
it's
can play
already
it
out.
right now. Yeah. So it came out. I think this would have been last Friday,
Friday.
and it is a compilation of 1 and 2 remade. It's voice acted, not fully, but there's voice acting in it. Really good animations. They cleaned up the UI. It's got a really nice look to it. It's snappy. The menus are really pretty, which is an odd thing to say. And the visual style, like what they chose to do with it to make them kind of look like toys and have the boards be like little cardboard maps, everything works for me. It's exactly what I wanted from a new Advance Wars. I think it's got a really good mix of the goofiness of those original games without going like too far off the deep end, kind of like what they did with the Battalion Wars games. And I'm only
I
like
love those
3
games.
hours in. I played it for just like on stream today. I finally sat down and played it for a couple hours, and I got through the majority of like the Orange Star, which is like the first major section of the game. And yeah, I absolutely loving it. I cannot wait to stream more tomorrow. I think it's so much fun. I think if you at all were excited about Advance Wars or you've been waiting for this game to come back, like I think you're going to be really, 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 really happy with it. I don't know how much is different. Like I feel like there are certain things that are in it that, like I guess without going too much into it, like some of the first few missions of the game were the tutorial of the original games, and they turned them into like mainline missions. And then moving on from there, I feel like the way that they lay out certain things to you, if they're like, hey, look, you've played this before, you don't need to go through the tutorial. You can like essentially just skip talking through like how to build units at bases or what the different units do, which I think is also very nice. I think this was a situation where the series has been gone for a pretty long time, and I think they could have done like forced tutorials, and they chose not to do that.
Did you see
yeah, I
that?
just-
Did you see that thing where people couldn't redeem their gold coins because like
did. Because
it's
it was
been a
so
year,
long
like the
ago.
game's dead as just sitting on a
yeah.
shelf for like
I
a
know,
year at
it's sitting on the
Nintendo.
shelf. Yeah. So they've literally just been sitting on them. Yeah, I mean,
It's tough.
again, they said that they were delaying it because of the war and everything, and so I understand that the game has been done. But yeah, I mean, play it now. It's available, and if you like strategy games at all, especially if you like Fire Emblem, like pick this up immediately, insta buy. Also, really weird is Andy is voiced by the original voice of Ash Ketchum, and so whenever
heard
Andy
that.
talks, she straight. I mean, he's
Veronica Taylor.
like Ash. Right. But yeah, highly recommend it. Again, I'm pretty early in. I'm sure by the next I will have beaten the original game and probably have gotten into Advance Wars 2. But yeah, I adore it. Very, very happy with that game. What's everyone else been playing?
Lately, not too much. I jumped back into Breath of the Wild just because I was in the mood for it. I was like, you know what, let me prep some Zelda. I also was playing actually this is kind of it's a Sonic thing, but it's cool. I was playing Project 06, where basically this
Oh,
one
man.
person, yeah, this thing is awesome though. This
Yeah,
thing
I saw they released the silver stuff, and I'm like, damn, I gotta play
Yeah.
this now.
yeah, basically for those that don't know, like you guys should check this out. It's called Project 06. It's basically one dude, Chaos X, basically rebuilding from the ground up Sonic 06, and over the years they've been updating it. So they remade all the Sonic missions. 2 years ago they released all the Shadow missions, and oh yeah, he has a team. My bad. And then the other last week they released the Silver missions. So now you can basically play like all three main missions from Sonic 06 in like the best way possible. Like it is. The levels like feel like they were actually made today. There's no like weird shitty glitches. It's as if that game came out back then, but like complete. Yeah,
think-
and it's genuinely incredible.
Something that I've always found kind of crazy is that a person Chaos X, if I recall correctly,
Mhm.
they're just a guy in like Argentina or something. He
Yeah,
never
oh,
owned
yeah,
an
yeah.
Xbox 360 or PS3.
Yeah,
So
he
it
never
wasn't
played
until
the OG.
yeah, it wasn't until fairly recently that he played the original game.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
yet was
he's-
still able to kind of remake the game from the ground up with a very acute knowledge of like what was good in the game, what was not good in the
Mhm.
game, and has put together something really, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Really
it's
impressive.
it's quite literally gaslit people into believing that like 06 was
06 is good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's so funny
genuinely,
'cause
like
like you said, Vera, even if it's just like one person in Argentina or something, like they have, 10, 15 years of discourse of all the things that were wrong with 06
yeah,
to then go,
Yeah.
we can fix this by, adjusting this level here or moving this thing around. That
I always
is
believed
really
that game was
cool.
good.
yeah, it's insane. It's
06,
definitely
I
Are you
heard
talking about
this, but I
06
just
being
didn't know it
good?
was out yet.
Or
Yep,
are you
I
talking
always
about
believed that game had potential.
06?
that game definitely.
Yep.
Base
Yeah,
Sonic
06
It
06.
has potential
Sonic
for sure,
06.
of course.
Oh yeah, potential, but then they
very
released a
first-
hot
yeah,
steaming
yeah.
pile of shit.
Oh yeah,
Like, what?
exactly. And
Of
that's
course,
yeah,
of
that's
course.
that's why this game is good. This is why Project 06 is
I
good.
remember seeing the EGM that had the first ever screenshot of Sonic 06, and it was like you could see every individual blade of grass, and Sonic had
Oh,
fur. And
yeah,
there's
yeah.
that one iconic shot of him like jumping off of the cliff, and I
Dude,
remember
the
thinking,
Yes.
trailer
this
they
is gonna be
showed was like,
amazing.
it was so good. Like, it's crazy how you start the game, you get that cinematic. Like, if you don't even
Oh yeah,
like, you see Elise
Final Fantasy
and all of that
cinematic.
shit. Exactly, right?
Yep.
It's like, goddamn, this is gonna be a great ass game. And
And
then
then you
the
play-
loading screen shows, Sonic loads in, and it's like, what the fuck happened?
yeah, like Jesus.
Because
No,
like,
that's-
I gotta
Oh,
correct you
100%
there.
we're checking
No,
out.
bro, I gotta correct you there. The loading screen shows, and then the loading screen shows,
And then the
and then
loading,
the loading
screen.
screen
Yeah,
shows, and you're there for a good 30 seconds, and then Sonic loads in.
But no,
Yeah.
it's so anyone who wants to just play that, 100% worth it. And I think all they need to do now is like add the bosses, the hub areas, cutscenes, and like the final mission. Like it's done. But for now, if you just want to play all three main missions of like Sonic, Shadow, Silver, it's there, and they're all like you would think they're just fully complete and done.
Is it a plugin for the game itself?
No,
Like,
you dead ass like you go on his channel. The trailer for
Oh,
Silver is there. You
wow,
download
okay.
it, and you can just play it on your computer.
Well, that is a
Has graphic
perfect
settings and
segue then.
everything.
That is a perfect segue into something else that I think we probably should talk about that happened since the last show in terms of YouTubers and downloads and games and
Oh my
companies
God.
shutting this
boy.
down. Have you guys seen the
Yes.
stuff going on with Zelda? So,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
what exactly happened? Because I had people like angrily tweeting at me while I was on vacation, being like, "You're a Nintendo brand
Angrily?
ambassador. You should talk about." Well, because I think they thought
Why-
like because I'm a brand.
Why do
ambassador,
people? No.
that I
Why do
should say
people
something.
that follow you think that you have a hand in so many different things just because you work with Nintendo? Like,
I don't know. But it happened.
Basically,
get a
this
job,
dude-
man. Go get a job.
Basically, this dude called Point Crow, he does a lot of Zelda mod videos. He's very well known for like a lot of, Zelda multiplayer mod videos, just crazy mod videos. And then a shit ton of them just at once got like taken down, copied, and
Shadow
like,
Realms.
yeah, Shadow Realm copyright struck, like the usual stuff that can stop you from uploading a bit. And yeah, and you know how it goes. He made the video being like, hey, this is what happened, yada, yada, yada. Caused an uproar. Everyone's talking about it. And apparently, like, he pointed out that some smaller other channels also got their stuff taken down. So it feels like obviously Nintendo, like, for some reason, they're like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom is coming out. We can't have Breath of the Wild
Which
fun.
is crazy because you think it would be the opposite, right? Like
Right,
his
yeah.
videos have so many views and would possibly have more people wanting to purchase Tears of the Kingdom
Sure,
just
sure.
off of that. Like, that's a thing I just don't understand with Nintendo. There's so much fan content that's made that isn't meant to hinder the Nintendo IP. It's there to celebrate it and even encourage more people to, join in the community, play the game, stuff like that. But I don't know. They just have like super backwards business practices.
It's not
still
just
in
Nintendo, though. It's just a
2023.
Japanese company thing a lot of the time.
Yeah, but you
Except
see it
for-
so
and then
much
you
with
got-
Nintendo,
I mean, look at-
man.
Like, I feel like I
Yeah.
think the one thing, if people can talk bad about Sonic or whatever, but I think the one
Oh,
thing,
the fans carry
like,
that shit.
dude, the fan and Sega is cool with it completely.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
they-
yeah.
they're
Embraced
like,
it.
they're like, here's this game called The Murder. Could you imagine?
Yeah, we
if
didn't
they
even
had
say it.
a
We didn't.
fan game, visual novel called The Murder of Super Mario? Like that would never
No,
happen.
never.
The
Very
social
Not
media,
once.
entire social
actually.
media team would be killed. Like that would
Of
never
course,
happen.
of course.
Whereas, yeah, Sega, like they're promoting these games. I don't see mod channels for Sonic stuff being taken down. In fact, I feel
Never,
like
man.
mod Sonic stuff is a big
Bro,
thing that pushes
Project
the Sonic
06
community.
Yeah,
has been alive
that's-
for how long,
yeah.
right?
Dude, it's the only reason, like I'm telling, like the only reason Sonic survived during a shit ton of bad years is because just like people constantly making Sonic shit online, and
Right,
like
right.
that keeps the fans up. Whether it's like crazy animations, crazy mod videos, crazy projects, like all that stuff is like the only reason Sonic stayed heavy afloat during like really shitty times. There's expos for Sonic mod games. There's whole events for them. You know.
Yeah.
Sage.
He got a lot of
Sage,
videos
yeah,
taken
Sage, of
down,
course.
too. He got like 30 or 40 videos taken
Yeah,
down.
no, it's bad.
Did they issue strikes on the channel,
They got
or
two
was it
strikes.
just
Yeah,
like,
on
they
some of
issued
them, yeah.
strikes. They got 2 strikes
wow.
on his channel.
woo, that's scary stuff.
That's
Like
rough.
his monetization is like just completely gone at this point.
Yeah. Dang.
Yep, that's the scary thing, bro. Nintendo, you just don't know. One
It
day
is.
your ship is okay, then the next they'll be like, nope, die.
I feel like it's with everything, though. I mean, because especially with like the anime community, it's like
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, you
doing
can't.
reactions for anime videos or whatever, or even like covering manga, like what you can and can't show, like how the transparency
Yeah.
needs to be. And
I
It's
remember
the Japanese companies,
audio,
man.
it's just-
I
it's a
remember a very
nightmare.
similar
Yeah.
thing happening like a couple years ago, right? Didn't this happen to somebody
Yeah.
else? Yeah, I remember that.
Right, Totally Not Mark had the
Yeah, that was-
The
That
Dragon
was
Ball
in
Z
December.
stuff. Yeah.
Dragon Ball series taken down from Toei Animation, which is like his thing was actually original. It wasn't like he was just modding something
No,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
showing the thing. I mean, he was actually doing like full-on video essays about Dragon Ball.
I
and
think
they just
it's
completely
not
got taken
only
down.
we can't just blame the Japanese companies and stuff. Like
No,
a
for
part
sure.
of this is also reliant on the copyright laws in North America.
For
that
sure,
just
for sure.
constantly get abused that need to be looked over again. Like it's insane how many people can pretend to be a company and then just completely destroy someone else's livelihood because
I mean,
you know they
that
uploaded
happened-
one video they didn't like or something like that.
That happened recently too, right? With I say recently, it was a couple years ago, but it was when all the One Piece people on Twitter were being taken
Yeah.
down because somebody pretended to be
Oh,
Shueisha.
yeah.
And like
I deleted my entire
Sakura-
One Piece thread that I was putting on
Dude,
Twitter because I was
oh
scared
my
my
God.
account would get blown.
Me too.
Yeah,
And
I
I
guess.
was contacting Shueisha representatives and contacting Toei and being like, hey, what's going on? Like, you know, should I be nervous? And they're like, no, we didn't issue anything out. And then sure enough, you find out later it was like somebody pretending to be Shueisha with literally a Gmail account.
Hey,
and
man.
Twitter was like, yeah, whatever, take it down.
Whoever did that, be better.
Yeah, be better, exactly. Also, someone else who should be better real quick. Let me bring this full circle. Fidel, I have a straight answer from you, okay? I need to hear this directly
Where
from
the
your mouth,
fuck
Fidel.
are
You know, why couldn't it be a
Yes.
gay answer, man?
Fidel?
What's
Wait,
yes,
what'd you
yeah.
say, Ghost?
I said, why
Well,
couldn't it be a gay answer? Why's it gotta be a straight answer?
Gay answer?
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh god,
Fidel,
okay. Yes.
Be better.
Did you or did you not pay for Twitter Blue?
Don't do that to Fidel.
uh,
No. I can't let
Let's
you do
see.
this to
Did
Fidel.
No,
you?
no, no, no.
No, yes or no?
No, I can't let you
Did
do this
you?
to Fidel. Fidel's whole brand is on
did you
Twitter, bro. He
not
should have Twitter Blue.
Pay for Twitter Blue. I'm not saying
Nah.
I'm not judging him one way or the other. I'm simply asking.
There
That's
was
what-
a
if you
month.
did or not.
There was a singular month I did pay for Twitter Blue. Yes.
He's lying.
Okay.
Listen, man.
What's
Yeah.
crazy is I heard that Twitter Blue actually doesn't do shit for like actually putting your tweets first on people's timelines or anything. Like they advertise it as.
Did they take your check mark, Fidel?
They did. They
took
did, bro.
everyone's, man.
They took all of ours, man.
My check mark's gone.
They took
bro.
all of them.
It's
Our
okay.
check marks are, bro. We ain't
I feel
shit.
like-
Bro,
I
you
feel
and
like
you are
having
not
a
you
check
anymore,
mark
bro.
Is now the new check mark, though. It feels like if you don't have one.
I don't even
Well,
know who
they-
y'all
the-
are. Y'all lost your
the
identity. I
worst-
don't know that you're you.
The worst part is they gave them to people that have 1 million followers, which is like,
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's
fuck
really
you,
crazy.
man. What?
That's really crazy.
It
Yeah.
is,
And
man.
then
Get
those
a million
people with
followers,
a million
bro.
followers are like, I don't
Yeah.
want this. And then they're like,
Yeah,
too
because
bad,
no one
it
just
still shows
wants
up-
it.
Right, because it says on there like they may or may not have paid for Twitter Blue.
That's crazy that they're even allowed to do that. That it says like
They're not. I
you're
mean,
they're
they can literally
verified.
file FTC like complaints. They can absolutely do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that like it says that it's like because they may or may not have paid for Twitter Blue. Like, no, what?
That is nuts.
Say you gave it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to advertise and get more money off of people.
It's crazy.
Well, I'm a commenter now.
We
Yeah,
are nothing.
One
All
of
of
us.
us are.
Welcome.
One of us.
One thing,
of us.
so I guess I'll bring it up in my what have you been playing? Murder Sonic of the Hedgehog is incredibly good.
Oh yeah, didn't we
Like,
talk about that the last episode?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Murder
it's
Sonic,
really,
we didn't
really,
have
really good.
we didn't have an episode since that's come out.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, because I guess I've seen Fidel.
All right,
No,
all right,
that
all
was
right, all right.
April.
Oh no, no, no! I really got a heart. All right, Fidel McDermott, you got 2 minutes. I'm timing you. Go.
What the
It's
fuck?
really
2
genuinely
minutes?
good. Tito, hear them out. It's very good.
Okay.
Go
I don't
ahead.
care how good it is.
There's not that much we can even say about it without spoiling it. My whole point to bring up is it's really cool of Sega to actually allow this thing to exist and it's free. You can just go on Steam and get it. Like
Yeah.
1 million people downloaded and played it. The game's like maybe 3 hours, maybe less, depends on how much you want to do.
Yeah, 2 to
about it.
3
You want to go
hours.
through
It
it.
was
Yeah.
the perfect length, I thought.
Hey, yo.
You said what game is this?
Yeah,
said
game are you
what
talking
now?
about?
Y'all
Murder
hear
of
what he
Sonic the
said?
Hedgehog.
Hey,
Perfect
yo.
length. I know what I
I said the
said.
murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, it's like a
It's
visual
also
novel
free.
Sonic game. It's completely free
Yep.
on Steam.
Completely free. Good writing. Really good writing.
It's just a visual novel.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it. That's cool.
Yeah,
Rouge
they
looks
released on April
excellent.
Fool's Day.
Yeah, they released April 1st.
I love her outfit with like she's got the purple jacket thing on and then the crop
Yep.
top.
Yeah. Of course.
And
Good
the thing
stuff.
I want
They
to
knew
bring
what
up,
they were doing.
because for the people that like Sonic stories, since that actually matters now, and I'm so happy. But this game actually does little tie-ins to things that are kind of up in the air, because like Frontiers went out of their way to basically say everything that came before is canon. And this game talks about, we're on islands, but there's other nations around. They talk about Spagonia from Unleashed. So like they're explaining how the world of Sonic works in a little bit in this game, which is nice. For like the game of itself is a cool little fun thing, but it also does world build, and you get to see the characters interacting in different ways they normally don't. So as a fan, it's definitely a fun game to play if you like Sonic.
I loved what they did with Shadow in this one. Without like
Oh
giving
yeah,
away
his
too
shit
much.
is
I
awesome.
think Shadow's writing and characterization in this is
Mhm.
peak. Really, really good.
No, it's the best it's been in like a long time. And in general, like it's just cool that like this is the first time characters like SPO and Vector and what's it called, and like even Rouge and Blaze just having character spotlight in so long. And it was just it was such a nice surprise, especially because like it was April Fool's Day where they're like, guys, you heard your feedback on Sonic, we're taking it in a new direction. We're all like, okay, they're just gonna do an April Fool's meme like they always do, and then they just dropped this game out of nowhere, available now. And it's just lighthearted. It's fun. There's no stakes. There's not even much. There's no fail states or anything. You just play it for a session. You laugh. You get some good dialogue. You get some good character moments, and you're out.
Excellent.
And that's it.
Dude, I genuinely like SPO now.
Yeah, SPO's fire. I love him.
That's the
He's
purple
like
dude,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you
the
feel about
community,
making a cat?
yeah. I like him.
That's why games like this are so great for like series that exist. Like, yes, in a Sonic game, you can see these characters, but you don't get moments of the characters just getting to interact with each other like this. They always have to stop some threat. So like a game like this
Yeah.
is so good when you want to have a series where these characters matter. They should matter. They haven't for a while, but they shouldn't matter.
I
But
am
yeah,
a
it's a good
Sonic
game.
fan now
Free.
Again. I feel
Go
like
get it.
this year got me back into it. I feel like I've obviously always been a Sonic fan, but I feel like I've been embarrassed to be a Sonic fan for years. And
No,
I
it's
feel
cool.
like this year between Frontier and Murder, I'm like, oh yeah, I actually feel pretty good.
We're
now.
back.
Yeah.
And the movie.
Sonic Origins is also not going to be shit when they put Amy in it. Cool.
Right, the movie was
That's
great.
shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're putting
We're
Amy
winning,
in
man.
No, he
Yeah.
mentioned
Oh, we
that.
also
What's this
haven't talked about that, have we?
What?
Sonic Origins Plus.
No, we
also
did. We
got
talked about
announced.
Origins
What-
No,
Plus.
We
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
bring
have.
Amy in. So.
Even
Now,
if
you
you
mentioned, of
didn't, I'm not
course,
letting
that the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog was free. Now, you know what else is free? Final Fantasy 14
14
online up
online.
until the
I gotta go. Thank y'all for
Storm
watching.
expansion right now.
Talk to him.
Been
I
enjoying
mean-
yourself playing Shadowbringers?
I have been absolutely loving it. I have so over the past, I guess, few weeks, I've been playing through been getting back into Final Fantasy 14 because I kind of took a break for a couple months. But I played through Post Stormblood, which was fantastic, and I've been playing through Shadowbringers, which has been consistently amazing at every story beat.
Yup.
The dungeons have been really fun. They've been more like demanding than the previous dungeons, which I like. I've done one trial so far, which was also very fun. And it's just been a lot of really, really good content. Obviously, for anybody who's in the chat who hasn't played and eventually wants to play. I don't want to spoil anything. I want people to go in as fresh as possible, but people constantly big up Shadowbringers, and it's very clear to me as to why. It's fantastic.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. Chat, y'all better, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you what the end of the game is right now. You ready?
No, chill.
Crafting. Crafting is the end of Final Fantasy 14. You feel me? You can cook.
Crafting and
You
glam.
can make tables. You can fish. You can fuck. That's end game, bro.
You can
fuck all these
fuck?
dungeons. Yeah, I mean, you can get married. That doesn't mean you can fuck, but you can get married. You know, that's adjacent at least.
You can do ERP and Limsa, bro.
It's adjacent at least.
Nah. Don't tell him to do that, Viram. Don't tell him to do that.
It's adjacent at
I'm
least.
not telling you to do that. You shouldn't do that, but you can.
I'm just saying, like, you can, you know what I'm saying? So, you can get to the end game, you know what I'm saying, where you could cook, you know what I'm saying? You could do all this shit, bro. That's the real end game. Fashion fantasy. Fuck you mean?
That should get crazy expensive,
but
though.
But yeah.
I've just been
Yeah,
streaming
I
my
mean, I
MSQ
can-
run. It's been great.
Yeah, I can see how it can be expensive if you're buying it all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just treat it like a game, like it's a $40 or $50, whatever it is, game purchase every couple of years. Like, no, I gotta, Viram, you gotta ping me when you towards like the end of the experience. Like you'll know, but like when you're towards the end, yeah, I gotta be in that chat for that. Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, let us know when you're getting close to the edge.
I get it.
Yeah, we'll do.
LeBron James.
Lebanon James.
The Bulls went out so sadly.
Okay, but I heard Jimmy Butler dropped 50 tonight. Is that
He
true?
dropped 56, man.
Jimmy buckets.
That's
He dropped
playoff Jimmy
56.
is real, bro.
That's
Bucks
Jimmy
are gone,
buckets,
bro. Bucks are gone.
That's Jimmy Bouquet.
You
Like
can't,
fuck
count, you
you.
can't count out the Bucks, man. They still got Giannis on their team after all.
This is Jimmy buckets,
Giannis a
bro.
bum.
What are we feeling right now with the
Didn't say
finals?
any
What
of that.
do we think it's gonna be?
No, you know
What,
who's a
like,
real
what-
bum? Dylan Brooks.
Oh my god, bro.
No, do you think what do you think the finals is gonna be this year?
I don't know,
What are
but
you
half
feeling,
the
like
people playing the
Lakers,
finals. Lakers and Knicks. What the fuck?
I kind of want it to happen.
I'm not mad at
What?
that.
Yeah.
I think Sixers is gonna be in the finals.
Maybe.
I mean, all
Joel Embiid is
all these
right
playoff
there.
series are actually fairly good.
Yeah, they have been.
I miss like the
Kings
first
Warriors
game
is
of
the
like
best
most
one.
games. Yeah, the Kings and the
Yeah.
Warriors game. Yeah,
That's the best series right now.
I need
Yeah.
more. I need more of the beam, bro.
yo, get this beam out of here.
I need the
I
beam.
fucking
Let
hate
the
beam.
beam.
I hate the beam, bro. Respectfully, I
shit
hate
is
that
cool.
shit.
Whoa, wait. That reminds me of something. This isn't a what you've been playing thing. It's a what you've been watching thing.
Oh,
okay.
I've been watching a ton actually.
Highly recommend two things, and I'll try to be quick about both. First off, while we're on the topic of basketball, if you like basketball at all, go see the movie Air.
Yo, Scoot was saying that today, bro.
That's the
that
Jordan
movie is
documentary,
so
right?
good.
Yeah.
With the,
Yeah,
the shoes?
it's Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Viola Davis, the story
Yeah.
of Nike creating the Air Jordan. It was so well written, really good. I learned a lot of shit that I did not know about basketball shoes at all, about like the history of Adidas, about like some of the things that were put into that initial deal. The whole thing with like Nike basically paying the fines for the Air Jordan design because the Air Jordan design had like too much color in it. And so basically they ate up the fines for every game that he wore the shoe. It's a really good movie. Go see it while you still can. Highly recommend it. And the other thing that I was going to recommend in terms of something I've been watching that has had me by the balls for the past 4 episodes. I'm telling you, it's so good. Succession. I don't know if anybody is watching the new season of Succession or the final season of it. Every single episode has been phenomenal. There was a massive twist that happens very early on that has led into where we are now in the story. And I won't say anything about it. If you don't watch Succession, essentially it is about a company and deciding which of the children of the head of the company is going to eventually take over. And it is really, really well written. The first season sucks, though. First season's not very good. But then stick with it. The final episode of the first season, from there on out, the rest of it's fire. So that's what I've been watching. Also, Barry, the new season of Barry, too. There's been a lot of stuff, man.
Okay, it's the final season of Barry, and I've seen the first half of the first season, and I'm waiting for it to finish, and I'm just going to watch the whole thing. But you reminded me, so I'm going to go real quick. Reading and watching. Watching. All right, see you, Viram. Bye, Viram.
See you, Viram.
Watching.
Good night.
I'm rewatching something, and I actually now think it's probably my favorite sitcom of all time. That's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine is probably the best sitcom I've seen, and I've seen most of it.
Hold on. Have you seen Seinfeld?
I've seen most of Seinfeld. I've seen most of Seinfeld.
Then you're fucking lying, buddy.
That is my guy right
Straight
there.
up. Then you fucking lying.
Thank you, Chauffeur.
So anyway, for me,
enthusiasm is excellent.
for me, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think is for me the best sitcom that I've seen personally. So,
But you've seen Seinfeld.
So yeah, for me, and so there's that, and then the thing I've been reading.
Wait. I genuinely want to know. Have you seen Seinfeld?
I've seen most of it. I've seen most of it.
Okay.
Like,
So
I think
I was just curious.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that I've seen most of it.
But you've seen it at all, which is what I'm saying. Like,
yes, I've seen. Yes.
that's what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you've seen Seinfeld, so there's nowhere to go from there. That's what I'm saying.
For you.
No. In general.
Okay, but the other thing that I've been reading, and I'm finally catching up to where it is now, is I think my new favorite manga. Like I have favorite mangas that happen and whatever, but my new favorite manga and my new favorite actual probably, like, I famously like I like things that don't require, like, not everything I like has like a lot of like fucking plot or whatever, because it's just a lot of brain power. I like things that are just fun, right? So it's like Black Clover, dumb and fun. I like Black Clover. Food Wars, dumb and fun. But this Iruma-kun is the best manga I have read in a long time. like if you anyone who knows,
put you on, bro. Go ahead and tell him.
Bro, Shofu put me on, and then I read that shit because he stopped watching it, and was hella behind. But Iruma-kun, crazy.
So what is it about?
It is the premise is very standard. Okay, so one of the three great devils wants a grandson because he gets like lonely in his big ass house. So he goes and finds this kid, and the parents make a deal with a devil to trade his son for like a bunch of for basically nothing. Okay.
Okay.
But the devil is like a way better person than the symmetry is that the life that kid was living in the human world was hell, and now he's living a good life. Yeah, we talking Demon School, Joey. Demon School is crazy. Like, so it's getting it has like this Saturday morning cartoon feel, but it has for me really high level character development and like really good writing. So if you haven't, I would watch it and then read it. There's like 2 seasons or 3 seasons or whatever. Go watch that shit and then go read that shit, because it's to me I think it's my favorite manga now. Like I think actually it's my favorite manga.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
And I it's close with like a couple others, but like it's really good. It's really good. Really, Joey knows what's up. Joey knows what's up. Shofa knows what's up.
Indeed.
I gotta watch it.
Hey, for what I've been watching a lot of stuff recently because I haven't been playing too much recently. I've been waiting for a lot of the fire shit to drop, but some stuff I watched recently. Beef, Steven Yeun and Ali Wong.
Hey, yo.
Is that the one? Is that the one where they're like the trailer was like it's like she cuts him off in traffic and then he runs her down?
They have like some road rage incident and it just like snowballs off of that. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I've been enjoying that
It's
so
an
far.
amazing series. Very good. Very good. I don't know if we brought it up on the podcast, but Tetris. Obviously, I watched Tetris.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Tetris was excellent.
Very like surprisingly like not what I thought it was gonna be about. Well, not be about, but how it was portrayed. Super interesting. And I've been watching a lot of Narcos. I don't know if anyone's watched Narcos. But
Oh, I love the original season. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
kind of
that
fell off of it in the second or third one, but the
It-
first season's excellent.
I would agree. Yeah, the first season's like miles better than the rest, but I finished the first like series, and there's like the Mexico version, and I've been watching that, and that one's been pretty alright as well.
We're in
Oh,
a golden age of entertainment.
Can I
There's
make a
just too much
trash
to see.
recommendation?
Let's hear it.
Like if you need some brainless, mindless trash to put on the background, yo, Dr. Stone is back, bro. Go ahead and put that shit on in the background, bro, to turn off your brain. You feel me? Like, go turn that shit on. Cause that shit dumb as
It's
hell.
so
Oh, man.
crazy that the show that's supposed
I
to be
like it,
about
though.
science is the show that you just described like that.
To be
That's what
fair,
I'm
I
saying.
haven't seen the new season.
Why y'all?
but the
Why y'all
first
telling
season
me?
was
Why
great.
y'all telling me to? Yeah, why y'all telling me to stop? Like I didn't prefix this. Like it's definitely like like y'all who watch the show, y'all know what it is. I read the whole thing. It's definitely not good. like it's definitely not good, but it's fine.
Why
The
do we
premise
always
is
do
cool,
this
though.
with stuff that's
Yeah, I think it fell off a little bit.
this is all
The premise-
subjective?
That's what I'm saying. Like
Nothing. The thing is, though, nothing will ever fall off as much as Promised Neverland season 2 of the.
no, don't bring.
God,
If you bring it up
that
again,
show was so
if
terrible.
you bring it up
Like,
again,
Season
I
one,
will
season
cry.
one of that show was truly a masterpiece, and like the manga, I still think is great, regardless
season
of
one
how
was
the
like
anime-
season one was like
But
1 to
season
1
one-
with the manga.
Yeah, I
Pretty
was
much
1 to 1
exact-
with the manga. Peak, incredible music, great animation. How they did that with the second season, it's so painful. It deserves so much better.
I think I'm sorry. Because you all know what I mean. It like Dr. Stone's like a lot of things. It's like junk food. You don't have to like it's not like you're watching Narcos or you're watching Barry where you have to like y'all know what I mean. Anyway.
You have your full
Yeah, yeah.
attention on it. I know.
Yeah,
I
that's what I was
understand.
saying. Throw it on the background and just like chill out, like relax. Like
To be fair, though,
Yeah, but
Barry,
you come out-
after,
you- I get
after a
that you're-
couple
that's where you're
seasons,
going,
Barry became a background show for me. Like, I'm not to say I don't like it. Like, I really do enjoy watching it. But after I think like 2 seasons, it ended up being the thing that you don't really have to pay attention to. You could have that in the background for sure too.
And like I get that's what you mean, Tito, but when you preface it like, oh yeah, there's a show you could watch that's not that great, so you need to pay attention to it, and you say the show, people are obviously gonna feel like, wait, you're calling the show bad then.
it's just not. There's a lot of things. Most anime is junk food. You know, it's just keeping it a buck. I love Food
That
Wars.
is true. No, that is true.
That's what I'm saying.
Food
Like,
Wars was super duper ass, man.
but the thing
I
is, you
love
could
Food
definitely
Wars, man.
I love Food
Damn
Wars.
it.
But you could throw Food Wars
Love it.
on your second monitor and do whatever you want.
But Food Wars was good for a while. That's the problem.
yeah.
Like,
That
the
was
ending
yeah.
was
That
very
was
first 3
unfortunate.
seasons, those first 3
Food Wars,
seasons were good. Those last 2, oh my god, bro.
okay. But
The
was
Food Wars
Food Wars?
creators just announced a new series too. They're making a new manga. It's about like a film buff or a film student who gets possessed by a dead screenwriter. And the art looks really good so far. I haven't read it yet, but I'm planning on reading it this weekend.
You're gonna see
couple
some
episodes
scenes
out
so
already.
crazy their clothes explode.
Hopefully. And Maku Cinema, yeah, thank you very much, chat. I think that's it. Anybody
That's
else?
it.
We out?
Yeah, I'm gonna plug my stuff real quick because I got a new YouTube channel.
Let's hear it.
If you in the chat, you like D&D and you like live play, got a couple people you might know in there. Tanooks is in there. My boy Mike, not Mike, our Mike, different Mike, my stream Mike. It's the RPG show. It's on YouTube.
Our mic is actually hilariously funny in D&D.
Yeah,
the
That
stuff
is
he
actually
did.
really
Oh my
funny to
God.
say, yeah.
But yeah, the RPG show on YouTube. Just go peep that shit. We got 3 episodes out, so nice and cozy.
Yeah.
Very good.
Hey,
And then-
and just to everyone, be better.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
number one thing. Be better. Japan
That's
time
true.
D&D special when? Never.
I mean,
That
I
would be
do it,
so
but
bad.
we
Oh,
love
yeah,
we probably
I-
wouldn't do it, but I would do it.
That's a member goal or something, maybe. Yeah, I don't know about all that.
One shot would be so fucking bad.
I would run a one shot for these guys, but none of them would do. Only like 3 of them would do it.
Yeah, I would not do it again after that. One thing I will say though, real quick, our next show is going to be on May 8th, and it's going to be the last one before the release of Tears of the Kingdom. So May 8th, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, we will be live.
Now, you know that's a damn lie. 6:30 p.m. Pacific. You know.
Okay, but I mean that's when we're normally 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on Twitch.
But hey, 6:30 p.m. is when you start getting that Uber Eats order going. Okay.
Oh, Spinda said Roger finishing Octopath 2 on stream. Never. No, I actually beat Octopath 2. That's something else I could have talked about during the game segment. But I beat it while I was in Italy. Really enjoyed it. Super duper happy I didn't stream that game, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
No, but we also have our Mario movie roundtable video that should be coming out, or might be out already.
It's out.
Okay, it's out. Go watch that shit.
If y'all are interested, I don't know how many people are watching that would care or not, but I'm probably doing a 24-hour stream tomorrow for the Xenoblade DLC. If y'all want to check that
Let's
out.
Let's go.
Speaking of that, while I have probably most people would be on it here, we want to do a roundtable for that DLC.
I think that could be a good idea. That would be a good idea though, because this is basically like the finale to this era of Xenoblade. So yeah, that would be a good idea.
I'm totally down. My only question is like, how
long it won't be for.
Is this going to be?
Yeah, that's why we don't know how long it is, so I wouldn't be for a while.
Right.
But it's just like just to see.
How long was Torna? Torna was like 15 hours or something.
Torna was like 15 to 25 hours.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering if I can beat it before Tears of the Kingdom. That's
my goal. Yeah.
I don't know if I have time to beat it before.
Again,
Tears
there's too much stuff, man.
I know there really is.
And on top of all of that, if y'all in chat, go ahead and donate to the cipher right now. I'm really gonna pull up to your house and steal all of your cutlery.
Bro,
I swear I will.
Done, bro. What are you saying?
No, I don't care. Y'all better throw some money. Still, go donate to that man, bro.
What?
Still throw money, throw bands his way. You feel me? Hey, you trying to stop me from letting him hold it down?
Look, man, I don't like asking for money in the first place.
You're not asking.
No, we're just saying that if you happen to be watching this live on twitch.tv/Shofu,
that's what I'm
and
saying.
There's a sub button right there, maybe click that sub button.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't be broke.
People have been asking me if I'm going to be on the cipher. I'm like, who do you think I am, man?
That's Coast, man.
So, Coast, we all know you got bars. They might not know, but we know.
I don't got bars.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Take care. And, be better.